Hello, and this is Spotlight, recorded live here on Grapple Patreon. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty.
I feel chirpy, Matty. Excited to talk to you, mate. I'm not excited to talk about the show we're going to talk about today. I wasn't excited to talk about the show we talked about yesterday. I'm excited to see you, mate, so it's a compliment. Well, that's it. We're going to spend 20 minutes on the Para show and like 45 minutes on Ring of Honor, half an hour on AEW tickets. I'll probably get some transfer deadline day in there as well, mate. It'll be,
of course.
It'll be fine. Give it the time it deserves. But no, I'm happy to see you, mate. You're saying up here that I tried to talk to Matty off here. I was like, how's it going, Matty? How's things? How are you doing? Professional now. He's like me. He's like, talk about it on here, won't we? We'll get it in the bottle, you know. Get paid for it rather than just talk to you on my own free time, you know. I used to feel like that about office work.
And as I said there, Ben, I'll speak to you more after we've recorded, so that's all right. Let's just get all this, the pleasantries and the, you know, what we want to say on air. That's what we're here for, aren't we? And then we will talk.
It's like work time, isn't it, mate?
Yeah.
It's like somebody did a study, didn't they, where like if you take a shit once a day for 40 minutes in the office, like over a year, it adds up to like a month or something. I don't think that's quite the maths, but it, you know, works out like that. Why not get paid for it? Why do it on your own time? Why go home? Sorry to open with that.
I've mastered that, Ben, in work. I have mastered that art of like that 30 minutes of like, it's one of them. And if someone pulled it up, it's like, well, it's just nature and science. I need to go to the toilet, so I can't do nothing about that. Sorry. You know what I mean? What do you want me to do?
What are they going to say? Like, you were along there? Yeah.
Exactly.
No one's asked questions. No one wants to do the follow-up questions. Have you ever worked in, like, call centers before? Like, I used to work in Vertex in Kirby. And, like, it was one of them where, like, you know, when you go to the toilet, you got like, press a button, and then you'd come back. And, like, I had that happen a couple of times where the manager was like, yeah, so the other afternoon you went to the toilet and you were gone, like, 13 minutes and 30 seconds, Richard. What was that about? It was just like, I was having a shit. I don't know. Yeah. What I was actually probably doing was planning my EWR game, which I was scribbling on my notes in the office rather than actually listening to the customers on the phone. Ready? That was the old days. I couldn't play it on my phone. I had to write me notes and then go home and then put it in. So that's probably what I was doing. But yeah, like, no, your fucking business. I might be dying. Who knows? It could be
exactly. Anything. I think we've gone a bit better. Like, you know what I mean? This day and age with anything like that. But
everyone's working from home. Everyone's doing the washing, aren't they? Rather than working like me, JP was talking about on weekend show.
Everyone's watching whatever wrestling they need to catch up on at this point. So we're all good.
Anyway, this podcast could start doing a Patreon, to be honest. Was it a coincidence that it started the pandemic? On that note, I am sad that I didn't have an office job because it would have killed me to use my own time yesterday to get through the Urban Wrestling Federation. I wish I could have billed that to somebody else. I learned my lesson, folks. I will say it. Anyone who did say it on Spotlight last week or on the weekend show, it won't be against it. Don't sit there and spend your Sunday afternoon watching 6 hours or whatever it was of the Urban Wrestling Federation. I think it's a bad idea, and I think your idea was best of man. Mate,
I mean, as I said to you on the show, Ben, the way you do any homework beforehand, but this was one that you had to spread out, mate. This was like homework, coursework, fucking tests all rolled into one, this, mate, all at one go, when you done it all in 6 hours. God bless you. But I will say, the show itself, like, we had a great time. We had a laugh, didn't we? We had a great time covering it. And, like, yeah, you know, it was probably better than the actual sit down.
Once I got you on track, yeah.
Listen, Ben, if any show you were going to let us just go, it had to be that one, mate.
I had to. In the end, I just got out the way and let you go back and forth. I was like, let me just explain what it is first before you start talking about the happenings of episode 3. But everyone was very excited to talk about it. You wanted to talk about the shootings and the drug dealings and the all kinds. Like, if people haven't seen it, don't watch it. But listen to us talk about it is probably the lesson, isn't it? Like, honestly, like, Homicide and Eddie Kingston are the MVPs of it, which is a usual statement, you might say. But like all kinds of mid-2000s indie names we talked about as well. So you can hear us regale you with stories of that rather than having to actually watch it, which is our mistake this weekend. Thank you to Simon once again.
I'll have to slightly correct him. And the MVPs maybe not biggest names in there that have come out of it, yes, but you're Slick Wagner Brown, Ruckus / Claude Marrow, the SATs. These are the MVPs. Facade. These are all the MVPs, mate. Like, honestly, like, it's just wildness, isn't it? It's absolutely wild. It's like, as you say, maybe don't watch all 6 hours if you go on. Anyone else wants to do the whole.
Don't watch an hour, or maybe watch an hour. Like Simon says there, yeah, I was sitting there with my brain melted. Honestly, didn't know what episode came next. Didn't know where we were in the scheme of things. But that's the other confusing thing about it, isn't it? The way they put it out. Apparently, it's on like Pluto TV in the wrong order and stuff like that. It's fucking it is. It's a complete brain melter, but an interesting trip down memory lane is all I'll say. But Yeah, Rash Brown was her name in there. Simon says it. Yeah, he put us through our paces, and usually he's a babyface king of the mountain this time, and he's joined the heel territory. But that was a lot of fun, and obviously we've got a Dealer's Choice coming up this month as well. Speaking of the heel territory, which was led off by you, mate. We've been ahead of it this year, a little bit slightly more organised than we usually are. We already know who's first up. We're going in reverse grapple order. We did decide on that. You're first, then it's Gareth. Hopefully he knows that. Then it's JP. Then it's me, and you already made your pick on the pre-show on Sunday, mate.
Yeah, I did. And I thought, you know what I mean? We had 6 hours of grueling on work there. I thought, you know what? My brain couldn't really narrow down a mixtape / deep cut / story of this time around. I'll definitely have one of them for February. Don't get me wrong. But I thought to myself, we'll start September off right. We'll start with a nice, just old school WWE pay-per-view. None, as I said on the pre-show, none of this 7-hour nonsense. 2 hours 45 minutes.
Like last night, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, that was 4 hours.
we're jumping ahead now. But just an old school 2 hours 45 from the Mecca itself, from the Garden. I've went Survivor Series 2002. SummerSlam 2002 was my first choice, but we'd already covered Keith v. Ray and Brock v. Rock on other podcasts, so forth. Because I do want to do the Shawn Triple H. I want to talk to you about that match because you've got like big nostalgia for that. I'd love to break that down with you, Ben, at some point. But we'll go to the one better with this, or the next best thing, I should say, and say it's the Elimination Chamber, the follow-up with brown pants Shawn Michaels, Benno. You know what I mean? So what else? What more? We can spend half an hour on them pants. You know what I mean? So I think it'd be a good show. It is a good, memorable show. Scott Steiner, give me the fucking mic, amongst other things as well. SmackDown 6 triple threat tag team match for the titles, women's hardcore
that sounds
match.
good.
So we've got some good stuff on there, mate. I can't wait to dissect it. You know me, I'll have a few notes about the build-up and such like that. So yeah, easy start to Dealers Month, I should say, Ben, for us all.
And you'll be hosting it too, won't you? That sounds great.
And I'll be hosting it. There you go.
I should be staring at the camera blankly like I was the last hour of the podcast yesterday. Excited for it now. Can't wait. It's going to be great. Loads of fun. But yeah, I did say yesterday it did maybe change my plans for what I've got coming up. It actually, I didn't say yesterday, but it hit. There's 2 different ideas I've got, and both of them are kind of in that same wheelhouse.
Oh, okay.
But I'll decide. I've got a few weeks to pick my poison and go for it. But I'm last up, mate, so I've got that pleasure. So I can either get revenge or I can treat you. It can go either way. Like I say, learn a lesson from our kings of the mountain. Simon saying I'm more of a click boom man.
I mean, I'm going to be going through Saliva's greatest hits on this show. Like, so I hope the listeners.
No shit. No, I'm not looking forward to it again now.
I've
do that, mate. I'll be doing best of Wu-Tang Clan. By the way, can you believe that JP's list of top 5 rappers was better than both mine and yours? I would say on yesterday when we were talking about the Urban Wrestling Federation. Bill throwing out Jurassic 5. Like fucking Jeru the Damager. Like
Tyler the Creator, because that's more of a modern one.
Right, one of the kids is still doing that. 100%. My little brother loves him.
Christ, like that was remarkable. Yours were like, as you say, more 90s / Wu-Tang. Mine was the commercial, like 99 to 2004, you know. And JP had a combination of everything. 90s, IWC, modern. It was like, wow, that was genuinely remarkable stuff. Like,
he was an MF Doom away from a perfect top 5, wasn't he? I'll throw him into my one there.
But then you did struggle a 5 non-Wu-Tang, to be fair to you.
Genuinely, yeah. When you said no Wu-Tang, I was like, I had to sit and think. But I got there. Even name checked Apu Ra, who's and I haven't thought about in a good few years. But there you go. There's your teaser. Listen to it to hear that, and listen to the JP's top 5 rappers out there as well. So there you go. Plenty up there, and obviously, like I say, Simon's broken me, so who knows what might be coming on Dealer's Choice as well coming up. But yeah, outside of that, anything else to talk about before we talk this pay-per-view? Do you want to talk about transfer deadline day for 3 hours? I can do that, mate.
I mean, I want to talk about it.
You got your AEW tickets? I was going to ask you about that. Anything other than talk about Clash in Paris.
I mean, see, we'll save this because I mean, for when we actually go into that, because I can't. I'll wait for the actual review of that, but. I want to speak about the Liverpool-Arsenal game just while JP's not here. You know what I mean? I had to, like, a great win for the Reds. We're top of the table. Usually, you know, all the listeners know me. I'm like, even last season, didn't want to say we would win the league until it was pretty much done. But you can't not be confident again here. Like, we're top of the league, Ben. We haven't played great. We've got 3 wins out of 3, and we've just strengthened unbelievably as well. So the pressure is actually on Liverpool now that, like, we are the favourites for the first time in years. I can remember that we were good when we were competing with City, but City were always the favourites. You know what I mean? We actually are genuine, like the best team in the league. We should go and win this Premier League now. So it's a different like mentality for us. But Yeah, I'm
Score
excited.
for, concede for. That's the plan going forward, isn't it? Unless you're playing Arsenal and they're just set peep versions. Arteta learned a lot from Moyes back in the day. You know,
He
just
did.
put those
He definitely
lessons in
did.
a bit too strictly.
Ah.
He'll get sacked before the end of the season. That's my guess, and he'll end up like whenever Moyes, finishes this fun little run that we're having in about 3 years. Arteta back in Everton. I could see that.
He'll definitely manage Everton at a point in his career. Yeah, maybe not next.
Maybe
week.
near the end.
Will.
Yeah,
he definitely will do that. Like, but no,
look, if
listen,
Rafa can come to Everton, he can.
You're doing well, but I think you will be absolutely fine. Like, I think not many teams will win at the new stadium. Maybe Everton included, a lot of draws for him. But I think Everton will be more like they won't lose many at home. And that one, I know Wolves are bad, but that results on the weekend. They're doing well. Grealish, new cult hero.
Super Jack Grealish, mate. He's like one of yours. He's a star, isn't he? It feels like those Chelsea players in the 2000s that you love. I feel like Jack Grealish is one of yours. He's a bit fed, isn't he?
But he is like, and me with being Liverpool, but if any fan base was going to absolutely love someone like that, it's your fans, Benno. You know what I mean? And fair play to him. He's embracing it.
It's nice to have some good news, isn't it, for once?
No,
enjoy. Watch footy. I was fuming. I said on like the pre-show yesterday. Sorry, we will talk about wrestling in a second. But like I was in a pub, wasn't I, trying to watch us on Saturday? But unfortunately, United won at the same time, which were still a bigger draw in Thailand than Everton. But we could catch them back up. I don't know if you saw did you see the time lapse the sports bar I was in?
I did.
I sat at the bar watching the Everton game on my phone while the bar was just crowded with United fans all looking at the screens, and I'm just sat there. And there's like a time lapse on their Instagram page from inside the bar that just literally covers my entire shift, as Linnae said there until the moment I walked out. Might frame that and keep it, mate. It was good times.
It is. I mean, Man U though, Ben, as you say, they're still like
still a draw, aren't they? They're the Fed. Are they the Fed of football? I know James won't like this, and some of our other.
Yeah, because I mean,
it's unless it's used, it could be used though.
It's England, because obviously they don't play every week. The coverage they get with any draw slip up. This is weekly though with Man United. It's fucking the coverage is remarkable. Like it really, really is. And the skin of the teeth on the weekend, of course. But I'm glad because he survived the international break, and then we just have all the circus again in a couple of weeks' time. But also FPL talking, you don't mind. 2 wins out of 3 in the draft. I'll take that from the opening 3 games. So
early days. Can't call it after 3 days, 3 games. That's Andy Ogden stuff. That wild cards and chips all out. If the season ended on week 4, Andy Ogden would be the king of FPL. But there we go. Yeah, calling after 3 games is brave of you, Matty. It's what he does. He supports winners. Speaking of which, last note before we get into the pay-per-view. Have you got your tickets for Dynamite and Collision? Saw some of the lads today talking about potential nights out around that. I think Rev Pro running, aren't they? The Cardiff weekends for that Collision, right? But that's the week before Christmas. It's the weekend, and then the Wednesday is Dynamite, and then Christmas is like the Tuesday after or something like that. So like big times, I don't know whether it'd be good or not though to do a night out in Cardiff the week before Christmas. I feel like you just be like work nights out and stuff like that. Mad Fridays, Mad Saturdays. Like it's a full month of it these years, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit close. No, I haven't got my tickets yet. We'll I haven't heard nothing off my usual crew that I go down with, but the Wolves one's first up. Then we've got to sort that out. I think that's getting organised. Fantastic Mania, is it? Coming up in a couple of weeks. Well, about 4 or 5 weeks time. But
that's the big job.
I'm obviously dropping. I think I've mentioned it to you in a private chat, but we're on WrestleMania first here, Ben. Come on, we've got to get priorities in order. I mean, we've
breaking news that. Do people know Matty is going to Vegas again for WrestleMania? Does it shock anyone that Matty's going back? It doesn't shock me. As soon as they announced it and you were like, "Oh no, I'm not going back to Vegas. I've done it twice now." All right, he'll be working that with Steph. I reckon you were thinking she might listen. I might get onto you, and somehow you've worked it around that now.
You know what it is?
I know you too well.
It's plans, and it wasn't a part of it. But I was thinking, it could easily just be stuck at the beginning of the Aldi, couldn't it? It could easily just be put on 2 or 3 nights, generally just in and out of Vegas for the shows, like 3 nights, and then you're done. Like, but got to sort that out first, Ben. So that's me most important thing at the thing. But ties into what we're going to be talking about right now, doesn't it?
They're desperate for it. People aren't in Vegas. They need you are turning up playing there with thousands of pounds. We've got no money to this French crowd.
They did.
You can join in that crowd.
Listen.
The AEW tickets actually, just to say on that, quite pricey. The ones that went on today. I assume there'll be cheaper ones, but I see people complaining they couldn't get the tickets less than that. I'm sure there'll be more because they're going to want to fill the places, aren't they, for Cardiff and Manchester? So it'll be fine. And we keep talking about Manchester, obviously, Cops gigantic, isn't it? So there is that as well.
But it be just on the last one on WrestleMania. I will not be paying all kinds. I will do a plat, and I will wait until if I have to when I'm actually there to get a ticket this time. There's no chance I'm paying
Stand outside
all kinds for tickets because I have done it though. But I have done it, and I still don't want to be in the gods. So I'll do my best to what I can get. You know what I mean? But we'll see about that. But yeah, that's the AEW tour. Like I think that's the co-op's a big ass though. Like, but I'm thinking for the TV taping, like I think they'll do close to it, definitely 100%. You know, because I think they're on.
I think it's going to be a blessing and a curse running like the week before Christmas. I think it's going to be a curse in that, like saying that people making plans, especially Wednesday nights. Like, are we all really going to like go to Manchester on a Wednesday night the week before Christmas? But on the other hand, yeah, exactly that. Christmas presents stuff. It's going to be easy. Innit? The wrestling fan of your life. If they get the marketing right and it's in the papers and stuff like that, you end up with like random family members buying your tickets or something. Won't you? It'll be a
and also
it's like footy in January, innit? It's hard to get tickets because they all go for Christmas presents.
And also, to be fair, we've all said it. JP probably more than most of us don't want to speak of him, like, while he's not here. But he like run England as a tour. You know what I mean? Literally do it like that, and to see if it works or not. And I think it will. So good on them for actually doing it. And if it doesn't, then you can downscale next time. You've got to do these.
I was pessimistic on it, like I keep saying to JP, only because I think it'll just inevitably affect. If you did it too close to All In and it was a big tour, I think it's going to affect people going, well, do I need to go to Wembley when I can go to insert town here? But I think really smart doing it this end of the calendar, it being a 2025 show rather than 2026 show. I think there is literally enough difference there. It feels like it's a full year ahead of time. Yeah. By the way, if anyone was thinking of going to Wembley next year, you can book your hotels now. I had a little look. Premier Inn had some deals on. Get those bookings in before it's too late. But no, I think it's smart. Like, and then you can come back. I think the time to do a bigger tour is when you're not running Wembley anymore. When you've realised, okay, the big All In or big arena show or big stadium show doesn't necessarily have to be at Wembley. At that point, I think you can do like a longer tour closer to it. But if you separate it enough, Fed come over here like often enough, like it was advertised during Clash of Paris, wasn't it? Back in like, January. Actually linked to it a few weeks after Dynamite Collision because they can't fucking help them. I mean, they're all over Europe and they're doing that thing that I'm doing when I'm coming back for Christmas, hopefully Christmas or January. Like obviously long flight from Thailand, so yeah. There's lots of like little countries you can stop off at on the way and do like a 6-hour flight and a 6-hour flight rather than a full 12 hours. It's hard to decide what's better or worse. Is that feeling going to be horrible getting off the 6-hour flight, knowing you're getting on another one? Or is it worse to sit on a 12-hour flight?
Got to decide.
Decided. Yeah. But the Fed have had the same thoughts, haven't they? It's like, all right, on the way there, let's stop off in Europe and we're on our way a little bit, and then we'll work our way to Saudi. I see their thoughts. They've been on TripAdvisor. They've been looking on Skyscanner. Been doing the same stuff. Or Google Flights, actually. That's the one. I recommend that.
100%. And I was looking. And
I don't think it'll hit AEW though.
No. I think that's completely. This is after. I think like if anything. Like as you say, there it's an easy Christmas present getting in December. It's like
if it was Jordan,
it's like skint, you know what I mean? January, that's the thing. That's a notoriously skint month, of course. But maybe get them in for Christmas, obviously as well. But it is going to be way dearer, doubling the price at least, isn't it? But as you say, AEW did have some expensive tickets, so it's a interesting one to say the least. I think it's London, isn't it, for the SmackDown taping, and maybe Belfast as well.
Belfast is Raw, yeah. Which I might be in Belfast around then as well. But we'll see.
Oh, you'll be there then.
Gunther and Punk worked the house show last time, didn't they? It was too expensive, so I didn't bother. They priced me out, mate. So I'll wait for the non-pre-sale, cheaper AEW tickets to come on. But yeah, we'll see where it all lands. But yeah, on that note, that's us. And we do have some more news stories to go into later, and hopefully a couple of hours to spend on ROH towards the end, mate. But we might as well give it some lip service. Do you want to talk a bit about we're talking WWE? That house show that happened yesterday. Sunday Night's Clash, was it called?
We could go old school, then. We could go old school, yeah.
I honestly don't have that strong opinion about it. I don't think. Like, people expecting us to argue today. I'm just going to roll over and just go, it's a show, wasn't it?
You know what?
That was Clash in the Castle yesterday.
And it might be like, you know, as everyone heard about me after SummerSlam, I was a bit downbeat, and it was, once again, the perfect thing of like...
Yeah, it was great. Really?
No, it was two nights, of course. If you combined both nights into one, etc., the best, you know. But obviously, you're dealing with a 2-night show, so you can't do that. But with this, man, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a breeze considering what we sat through before SummerSlam. I think a lot happened. That's the thing. I got back into it because a lot happened, and I know it was basic stuff. If we're going to jump into the opener, like. At least they explained and they had angles and they had stories going into the main event. I'm all for that. They might be basic and they might be a bit telegraphic, But I'm all for that. He hasn't even been doing that lately, Triple H. So I'm made up he's back to that, to the way he was getting, and I'm hoping him clinging on like to this, him doing it going forward. But yeah, I honestly enjoyed the show. Like, there's a couple of them. There was one stinker in there. Don't get me wrong, real bad stinking match. But on a 6-match show, you get 5 that I enjoyed, really. You know, from like different levels of enjoyment. But you know, I honestly thought this was fun. I had a great time watching it. Genuinely did.
I'm glad. I'm happy for you. You're not getting away with all them words, though. As Platt says here, you can't call a 4-hour show that had an hour dedicated to the first match in Angle of Breeze. It was anything but a breeze watching the show.
I mean, that's where your level of investment again is, isn't it? Like,
there's nothing to be invested in, though, is there?
I think he is. Ben.
Roman Reigns doing another, he's like literally, this felt like copy and paste. And I'm jumping ahead, doing this angle again. No, like with these lads, I feel like I've seen Bronson Reed do this 400 times. Like, this is the problem. Like, we agree, don't we, on Roman Reigns? Like, I'm happy for him to be like an occasional character. It's more weighty. It was a horrible name to mention, but it's the same with Brock Lesnar, isn't it? The less he was there, the bigger star he felt, and it felt like, yeah, all you fucking scrubs working the house shows and working the regular shows. He is the proper star. He's here now, and he always had that bigger impact. That's true of Roman Reigns, but the negative is you've got to do this every 3 months. Like, he's only, in the comments, he's talking about him only having 4 matches. Nikki Bella's having more matches than him at this point. I just don't think you can do this over and over again.
You can't, no, but at least that's why I enjoyed this more as well. Obviously, it's Roman. But, like, this was a proper injury angle. This went the night after Mania, where he just got speared in the ring and he was gone for 3 months. That was just like, oh, shit. At least this was an actual injury angle. He's been put in the hospital, which they haven't done. So that's what I'm trying to say. At least they're getting back.
It's not believable, though, is it? Because we all know he's got it up anyway.
Exactly, of course, but at least there's a reason for it on TV. Not that he just didn't get a spear and he's away. At least he's actually been put out with a more of a serious angle. That's what I'm saying. That's where he might be going back to basics, but at least he's doing it and ticking that box, which he wasn't doing, is what I'm trying to say. And, like, you know, and that's, people don't want to see Seth and Roman. That's I've always said. No, yeah, it is Seth.
I'm people. I don't want to see Seth.
But that is a match that, and I keep saying this, whether people like it or agree with it or not, I think they have to agree in a way. It's one match they haven't gone to. You'd expect them to have had at least 10 matches on pay-per-view in a decade, wouldn't you? But they haven't. It is a match with all the built-in story. This is a match that should be at WrestleMania, and I think it will be. And I think it's once again, he's going back to the slow booking of Bronson Reed. He's ticked him off. Bron Breakker's put him out. He'll wrestle him at Survivor Series or Royal Rumble to get to Seth at WrestleMania. That's what it is, and I think that's what will happen. But it can't be for the world title. This is where I think he'll cost, because Punk's got to get that back. He's got to cost Seth. Punk gets that, and that's how you get to that match. That's how I'm seeing it. And once again, people mightn't like it or not.
Good? It's auto-inspired shite, isn't it? That's no different than what they've been doing the last couple of months.
I want to see
no more inspired.
Seth and Roman, Ben. It is. I want to see that match. Genuinely, I do want to see that. It'd be good.
For what reason?
It will be good, though. It will be.
Really?
It will be a good match. It will. It will. It'll
be a match.
Built-in story for years. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? But
the story's been told, though, hasn't it? Whether there's been that many matches, it feels like there's been that many matches. It's like Cena or Orton. There's been a lot of the matches, but it feels like there's been even more. Doesn't mean there's an excuse to do another one. Like, I don't. No,
I get why people on it. I get people on it. Of course they do, of course. But they haven't had that payoff. They've had the angles and the Cody and fucking Roman match and the callbacks to the Shield stuff, which we've seen a lot. This WrestleMania as well, just gone. They just haven't had that singles match. It's why I know it is. It's bananas, but
doesn't mean it's a reason to do it, has it? I haven't seen Vicky Guerrero versus Michael Cole, but you don't need.
No, but it is a reason to do it, Ben, isn't it? No, but it actually is. Whether you don't like to want to, like, you're not invested, but it is a reason to do it, isn't it? Because they have been telling.
Are you invested?
And I am. Genuinely am. I honestly think I
sound like you're accepting it, but you don't sound invested in it.
No, I am. This honestly, I've said it for a couple of years on these shows. I always mention that they haven't gone back, and I would like to see it pay off, because then this tease won't happen all the time. Then will it? When it does get paid off, unlike in a way Seth and Punk, which, you know, they have had 2 matches already, and we're dragging this on, and we in multiple, you know, multi-mans as well, which is a big thing. But yeah, anyway, I think
that's. I mean, that sums up this entire show. Like I say, this angle for me, like I think where I'll give you the point. I'm not going to just sit here and argue for the argument's sake. Like I like the Bronson Reed like what you call it, tsunami stuff. Like, it's cool. Like, the first time they did that and again, the whole repeated, like, oh, you think that we're going to our break, or you think we're walking off? Oh, guess what? Here's another one.
Move.
Like, we've done it. Like, we did it with Seth, didn't we? Was it Seth who originally took out doing that?
That's why he's
like,
in the group.
I felt like I'd seen it before. Like, and that's I had seen it before, and I know what you're saying. Okay, at least they did it this time with Roman, but like, I'm going to be consistent. I think the criticism of the Will Ospreay angle at the AEW pay-per-view is the same thing, where it's just like, yeah, I guess it makes wrestling sense to do that and make the match, but nobody buys it because everyone knew Ospreay was taking time off anyway. Everyone knows Roman's constantly taking this time off. You just can't do whether this one in isolation. I could agree with you. This one was more effective than the last one. Yeah. It's still another one in the same year, like between, the bulk of 4 matches over time. I don't know how you be more creative about writing Roman Reigns out and having him disappear now till the Rumble. But I think you've got to try and be more creative than this, or maybe just accept that we're all right in what we're saying and it is repetitive and they almost have to do it because of the situation, in which case the situation isn't great, which we keep looping back around to, which is like, you want someone to not be around too often, but he's around too little. Like, we're over there, the line of being too much to go in that direction too. It's just accepting it because, well, Roman's off, so we've got to do another angle. It's boring, isn't it? Like, I don't know, is anybody really invested in getting his revenge against Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker? Like,
well, it is that the Seth match obviously is the end game, but at least him and Breakker is a fresh match as well. That should be exciting. That should be it's a fresh match that they've been building up. I get what you're saying about it, but that's the situation. Maybe accepting. I'm not.
Well, let's criticize the situation then.
Well, it is.
Let's criticize Roman for the situation. Like,
but how do you get out of that
situation? A little bit more.
You're not going to get out of it, though, are we?
He could double his dates and he'd have 8 matches in a year. That's still Nikki Bella numbers, isn't it?
Would you do that? If someone said to you, would you say that this is different? It's a different scenario altogether, isn't it?
But if I was the boss, would I accept that?
Well, they haven't these worked themselves into getting this?
Well, let's criticize that then. Somebody's at fault. Like, this isn't good television, and it's not interesting, and it's repetitive and boring. Like,
it works more.
It happens because it has to happen.
Yeah,
let's criticize something.
It works more when he's a heel, didn't it? You could get away with it more when he's the champion. You can play into it. When he's a babyface, I've agreed on that. When it is harder to come up with creative. As you said, I'll still stick by this was more creative. But as you're saying, you feel like you've seen it a million times. But for me, at least it was more creative this time. And we're probably going to get this until he retires, though, Ben. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is.
What's the breaking point for you then? Where you go, I don't want to see that again. Can
we
just be honest and just be like, yeah, Roman Reigns will be back in a few months. He's filming something. So, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Because I do want to see the Seth match and I get the end game. When there isn't an end game in sight and it literally is, well, he's not there. At least it's in a story that he's knocked one down. He's got to go for Bron Breakker. He's got to go for Seth. At least there's that. When it gets to the point, where it is fully taking the piss of like, well, he's gone. He's coming back just to do interviews or something. Fair play. Yeah. At least he's in a bit of a feud. At least it's building to something. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and yeah.
I mean, that takes us into the match, and I had like that criticism on the weekend show going into it, in that, again, if Roman worked more dates, doing one with Bronson Reed, I think is fair enough. It's a younger guy. I don't really see much upside of Bronson Reed outside of the monster role he's in, but like, he's more of this felt like watching, a Saturday Night's Main Event from the 80s. This felt like Hogan versus Earthquake or something like that, where it's a bit, it's a good little match for the town. It's a good little match before Hogan gets onto his more serious stuff. But even Hogan was working more dates than this. I think when you've got limited dates with Roman, I don't know. This one of the 4 he does in a year wasn't really it for me. But execution-wise, I can't argue. I think that, they worked through this crowd, and this crowd, depending on what you think about these crowds, elevated it for a lot of people out there as well. And yeah, Bronson Reed probably worked above the level I would expect, but of course Roman Reigns went over at the end of it as well. So yeah, kind of was what it was. But like I said, the match itself took 25 minutes. It was the angle that took the bulk of that first hour.
Yeah, it was, and I thought that, once again, like Roman, as much as I love him, it's not a criticism because I think it's what wrestlers should do more. He does play obviously to the crowd a lot, and with this crowd, you're gonna play, especially at the beginning.
That was an extra 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I was watching it with Crew, and I said to Crew, "What was that? That Noah matchup? Was it that like they didn't lock up for like fucking 40 minutes in the pandemic?" And I was getting them vibes. So I was like, "Come on, let's lock up."
Roman was watching Noah.
Yeah, but when you've got that fucking crowd, I'd be probably the same if you're in there. You wouldn't want it to end, would you? That's the aim of the game at the end of the day. But I thought the
For a
work
house
was
show,
good.
though, you're still doing a pay-per-view with people watching at home,
Yeah,
aren't you?
you know,
You're still watching, you know, and everyone's looking
well,
at
you'd
the
rather
clock
that
and
than
like,
crickets, wouldn't you? You'd rather that than crickets and an MC hearing people at the bar and shit like that, echoey mics and stuff. You'd want that, you know, at the end of the day. But
would you?
once they
I think
settled
I'd want to be
down,
entertained, to be honest. Out of the two options.
once they settled down, I thought the work was good. Yeah, that obviously there's no question there, and it was the outcome that was expected and stuff like that. Which we did get into the angle that we've glossed over or slightly mentioned, Ben, but I liked it.
Did we? We talked about it for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I thought it was good. The actual angle of me, though, we didn't break it down or whatever, did we? We said it just went long and it just, you know.
Not to break down, is that he did several tsunamis. The spears were cool.
Spear
it was
through
all
the
very
table.
predictable.
Yeah, but I liked it. I thought it was good. The best that it's been anyway to write him off TV, like I've said 50 times.
Bron Breakker's a more interesting idea for Roman. That's why personally I'd have done this match here and had something a bit more heavy duty for Roman. Again, we were saying this on the preview, the list of people on this card versus what they were actually doing was maybe the biggest criticism coming in. But I guess from your point of view, if the big idea for Roman is Seth Rollins, maybe I would prefer this. But yeah, 3.25 for me, and maybe 3.5 on a WWE scale, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, it was I say it wasn't not on the groundbreaking, but yeah, for once they got.
And Bronson's never going to be more than this, is he? This is
no,
Bronson's
he's not. That's his role, of course. He's the new, like, you know, dare I say, like Strowman type. He's that monster, like kind of figure that you need to that you can always beat.
Shorter, but yeah,
that you can always beat. You know what I mean? That role that you can always be. You're presented well, though, isn't he? You can always beat him, but and he'll always stay over because of the cool finish as well. But yeah, we move on, Ben. We see him back in November or December, and then we move on, don't we?
Will it be that soon? Is that the thought?
I think I'll say if Seth's Mania, then obviously Breaker's got to be the Rumble or Survivor Series, hasn't it? It's got to be. Maybe he beats him Survivor Series.
Stories. It might be WrestleMania 2027.
He might win the Rumble. I don't know what we're going. It's a couple of favourites. It's got to be Roman or Sami for the Rumble at this point. Early days, like. One of them. So.
I look forward to pictures from Seth of him in what you call it, Cody knocking around in the Street Fighter gear. Maybe go to
50 was there, were he?
You know?
50 was with Cody, when he all of them were there doing the pose. But yeah, I thought, and to be fair as well, like I said at the start, you know, at least they're all tied together with Jay coming out. He took the spear going into the main event.
Stand, did he?
Yeah, he did, to be fair. He did come in afterwards. That was my only slight gripe. He could have come in a bit more, wiped them out, then done it, and then he could have chased them off. But at least they played into the fact again of getting the two Brons out the arena, playing into the main event angle, which once again Stevie Wonder could see coming. But I liked it that he actually is going back to that instead of just random, you know, shit all the time. At least he stuck to a basic show-long storyline, so I did admire that.
He's trying to find his gear, Platt says in the chat. Yeah, maybe that's what he was doing. He was with the trainer, let's say that. Like Hangman Page that time in being the Elite. But yeah, I don't know if you want to move on, mate, because next up was the Wyatt Six versus the Street Profits.
Well, you know what?
I like the rumor that came back and the Street Profits were coming out in the masks, and it took me 3 or 4. I was like, who is that? And then the camera like zoomed out and I saw like the Street Profits. I was like, all right, that's them. That's their music. Okay, here we go.
Well, I was happy because I was thinking, is this a new gimmick? Have I missed something? But I was happy that it was obviously promoting a game, was it, afterwards or something?
Yeah.
The Ring of
Borderlands,
at least it was that, yeah. At least it was that. But you know what? At least me and Bill Apted agreed on this one, Ben. It might be the best match going in. Me and Bill Apted agree on this. It wasn't the greatest match, obviously, but they worked hard. This wasn't the stinker I was on about. That's coming up. Believe me, I'm going to go into that. But honestly, it was enough. It was, even though it was for the tag titles and it didn't mean a whole lot. I thought it was all right. I did. I thought they worked hard. I do like the Street Profits, and I think this is a terrible state of affairs when Joe Gacy's the fucking highlight of the Wyatt Six. You know what I mean? We're in a terrible state there.
What are they? Are they baby faces? Are they heels?
This is it. I love the Street Profits. I think they're so underused. The obvious team you just throw in a pay-per-view match all the time, and that's on them whether they're going to split up, whatever. I think they're great. I do think they got the charisma, both of them. I think they work hard. They're good workers. I love them. I really do think they're a shining light to that division. But yeah, the Wyatt Six, Ben. I mean, I can't defend them.
But it's like Triple H owes it to the family, doesn't he? He owes it to like I've got it, and it's nice in it because like you see like when they do like the videos and stuff, like people saying, "Oh, they would have loved this." Like from a human point of view, you understand it. You understand the people involved want to keep promises and stuff like that, but it's fucking shite, innit? Let's call it what it is.
No, it's not good. It's not. And when they're the tag champs as well, you can have them as an attraction. You can have them coming out every now and then. You know what I mean? That's fine. As you say, paying tribute. I'm all for that. But when they're tag champions...
Bet him on a 3-hour SmackDown, you know? Just don't use them on your pay-per-views. Like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to put belts on it.
This is it. This is what I'm saying. When they're the tag champs, I can't defend the White Six, unfortunately. But we'll move on. But I did think...
A late edition...
He did try...
That deserves as much talk as we've just given it. Like, it was a match. And I just don't see, like, the upward mobility for the Street Profits, like... At some point, maybe that will come, but I feel like they've very much been pigeonholed as
what
they are.
The same role for 6 years. Like, did that team, like, that great match at Usos, like, I think Money in the Bank 23, like, what a match that is, like, genuinely.
It's almost like nothing means anything in this company, isn't it? It's strange.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like, honestly, they have great matches, but they're just the same role that they've been in for 5 or 6 years. But I've read as well, they're always saying like they're going to split up and like Tez will be the big star and Dawkins has worked hard as well. He's improved. But I think I read the other week that they're not going to split up. Like I think Tez said, no, it's not happening. Kind of thing.
Like 2 years now since that started.
This is what I mean. So it
would have happened by now.
Yeah, it is what it is. But let's get to the next match because I can't wait to go all in on this one.
This is like Matty's checklist that you're allowed to go in on Becky Lynch, are we? Becky Lynch versus Nikki Bella. That's the next match.
No, I've done a 180 on Becky Lynch in recent times, and I've said like ever since that NXT run, like she's changed my mind. But then SummerSlam was it for me. Like the Lyra stuff was good, and I know it's all about elevating Lyra, but I was thinking surely you've got to lose that trilogy match. Like, you've got to lose that IC back to her at SummerSlam. And you can't have ideas above your station because that match was one of the worst executed matches of all time. Like, it just was no need for how bad it was and how long everything you want to throw at it. But then, obviously, she wins, Becky, and then I'm thinking, she's leaning into this, like, online stuff. Like, she's the new, Becky Hogan and shit like that. She's getting through at it, but it's like, she's starting to grate on me again now, Ben. She's starting to get, like, lose me respect again. And this match, God bless it. Oh, come on, don't laugh. But it's ever since I've seen that clip of the fucking Unreal where Chef fooled the world and she was like looking at the camera saying, oh, don't all that. That was just, and she's playing into it. But this wasn't good. And you know what? I'm not even putting the blame on Nikki Bella, though she missed that fucking kick. Lynch for me should be in position though. Spot. Where's Lynch in position? And what's Lynch doing? I think honestly, with them getting their head rammed into that announce table. I'm not saying do a fucking, put your head into it. But fuck me, make it look as more real than that. I thought she was trying to sabotage it. It was that bad. It was that bad and embarrassing and amateur. Like, fucking hell, it was so bad. Like, there's you've got to say it was. Like, there's no other word for it. You know what I mean? But, this wasn't good at all.
I'm sympathetic to Nikki Bella. I am. Like, I think she's trying. She's ever going to be of the level, but she's trying. Like, she's better. You could probably argue she's better now than she ever was in her career. I still think that like bar is quite low. I know people went high on the Nikki Sour stuff and were very into it, but clearly, she's been working with Brian behind the scenes. Let's just say it is what it is, and she's gotten better working in like this babyface role. But she can still only be so good, and like it's whether the juice is worth the squeeze. It's like she's over. It's like anytime Trish comes back, they're over the characters that like people have got like an attachment to. But is it worth it when you've got so many other more talented women on the roster to put them repeatedly in these spots? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I would say no. This is probably the best this could have been. And even then, still, like, I don't think it wasn't good.
Like, and to be fair to Nikki, this is probably the most high profile. She's come in and not took out, this is probably the most high profile. And it is for the IC at the end of the day. It's not for a world title. It's just because Becky Lynch is obviously the IC champ at the minute. That's why it seems bigger because she's there. But she hasn't come back like a Trish and dominated these 3-month feuds and such like that, and probably for the better because I want shot and done in a position like that. But I thought it was sabotage. Honestly, it was that bad, like what Lynch was doing in this, like back to her old ways for me. Because as I say, I've done a 180 and she's well improved over the last couple of years. But we'll get to the main event as well in a bit. But I don't know whether she's gonna save herself with me in that regard or what. We'll talk about that.
While we're talking, the women, like, you see the Rhea Ripley clip, like, Jesus Christ, like that.
Yeah,
fans, like, I don't know what is it, a Paris thing? Because like, there's a clip of Sheamus as well.
Sheamus, yeah,
like,
seen that one,
to mob him, and it's so bad if people haven't seen it. Like, she's just trying to go to a car, isn't she? And like, it's just a fucking swarm of robots with phones in their hands trying to get selfies, not even paying attention to where she is or that she's like a human being that stood there. It's just anything for the selfie. It's like 400 of them all at the same time. They're trying to do it. Like, is this a this is a French thing, but this happened anywhere else. Like, it was fucking unbelievable. That's the negative side of this alleged rabid fan base. I'm sure we're about to go deep on this next match.
It is. I mean, I don't want to come across not agreeing because it is, whether it's...
And I say that as someone who stopped Cody Rhodes outside the Wrestler Hotel.
That's what I mean, man or woman.
But I happen to be walking past, you know?
It's not, it's bad etiquette, of course it is. But it's one of them, isn't it? Like, yeah, there's got to be that line. But it's like, I always think, if you're a star, though, like, you obviously don't expect it, of course, that level, but you've got to expect some sort of fanfare if you're a star walking anywhere. Like, if you're that much of a star and you go somewhere, you're not. I get that, but there's a way to do it, isn't there? There's a way to behave as a fan, you know. Of course, there is. You know what I mean? So it's
wrestling's unlike anything else, isn't it? And that, like, I guess it's somewhere in the middle of, like, very clearly this isn't Beyonce turning up in town, because Beyonce will have like 40 security guards with her. But it's also not like a local indie band coming who can just deal with it, is it?
That's
like
what I mean.
The bigger stars than that, like that are of a level, and it's just funny that like they come in on these fucking buses, and then it's all right. I'm gonna go into the city centre, and you'll see like Bailey and the Albert Dock, or you'll just see like Punk knocking around, like walking around Liverpool, like they're just regular people, and it's like, yeah, especially when it's right here, you know, and they've got the pay-per-view.
But the swarming's no good. Like that is no good. That is like, you know, you would be scared. You know what I mean? At the same time, of course you would. No matter who you are, you would be scared of that at the same time. So there's a way definitely to behave, like 100,000,000%, of course. But yeah, it's tough. It's hard. Yeah.
Well, speaking of bad stuff or good stuff, depending on where you stand, we have next up Jonathan Cena versus Logan Paul.
No. You're missing a match here, Ben. You're missing a full match here. Good job, I'm here. The good old-fashioned Donnybrook.
Wasn't that next?
No, that was next. No,
that's not on my list there. Okay.
That was fourth. That was fourth. I mean, Rusev's doing the rounds, isn't he? Because he done that interview.
The greatest wrestler in AEW history. I apologize, Miro, for people have misconstrued that. I think he was talking in character, wasn't he? Like, he didn't say.
Of course he was.
He did say I was the best, so fair enough. But I don't think he meant it in the concept of, I was better wrestler than all the other people there. He might even think that, but I think what he meant was, I went there to beat everybody up, and now I'm in WWE and I'm going to take the world title. It was fully kayfabe when he ended it with that. It was like very clearly like, and I saw people going, "Oh, where are you now?" I said, "Well, you know, he's on WWE pay-per-views. That's a step up from where he was in AEW."
Playing video games with Kick.
It seemed very much his. No, that was very early on.
Yeah,
the two like big runs he had with the belt were brilliant, and again, it's probably as much him as it is the company that meant that never came to fruition and never came to anything else. So he deserves criticism, and very clearly he's a mark for the Fed. But I don't think he was saying what people thought he was saying.
But that's what I mean, and I don't want to be all the AEW fans are off, because the product has improved since, you know, in ring, especially since Rusev was there, Miro was there, but people were bang into Miro when he was the Redeemer. AEW hardcores were bang into him. Do you know what I mean? And he was good when he was unique. He was his guard and the neck and stuff, and the Redeemer role, that was good. When Lana come in and stuff like that, maybe no, but that early stuff was great stuff. Like, it really was. Everyone was banging.
More middle stuff. The early stuff was really bad with Kip.
With Sabian, but the early like Redeemer when he got out of that was good. Everyone was banging into it and happy for it. But then obviously when he didn't want to do no jobs and stuff like that, that's when it does come in, and that's when you do realise he wants to go back, etc. But
shout out to the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, but it is, as you say, he's back and where he wants to be, and he's working with his mate, and as you say, fully in character, saying he wants to be the champion. But as a good old one of the only best top guys in history, Benno, you know, you're not in to be the world champion. Why the hell are you in this business, mate? You know what I mean? So fair play. You've got to be in there to be the champion. But yeah,
let's see if he'd have stayed home if Sheamus wouldn't put him over here. I doubt he would. But again, there's criticism on all sides on that. As a match, no. Going in, it was the match I was most interested in to watch, and that was the other thing that I think was getting lost in the Berry and Russo conversation. I enjoy watching them. I think most people enjoy watching them, as you said there. And like, this was a match that was good to spice everything around it. Like, I hate the good old fashioned Donnybrook branding. The
name's terrible.
Some of the weapons were terrible as well. But in between it, like, they're just hitting each other, aren't they? They're just hitting each other really hard, and that's what Sheamus is good at. That's what about 18 months ago when he was having that little mini renaissance on Raws. I was very much enjoying him in that weird little IC title kind of contention group. He's just, when he's out there and he's kind of being a mark for himself and working like a, you know, Noah style or something like that, and just fucking slapping shit out of his opponents and expecting it back. That's the most I've ever enjoyed Sheamus, and this felt similar to that. And the two mates, aren't they, who were going to go out there and do that with each other. And yeah, Miro gave Rusev gave Sheamus plenty here as well. It was just the surrounding of it. It's the framing of it that I don't enjoy.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like the name's terrible, and it should just be like just no holds barred. They'll come up with something more, a bit more off the tongue. That's just too much.
Like
Very
Sheamus
long,
would say it to Vince at his birthday party or something like that, and Vince would be like, "Oh yeah, let's do it."
Put it on
good
telly.
old-fashioned Donnybrook. Like can't believe it's on telly.
No, definitely not. But it is. I thought the selling was great in this. Like as you say, hard hitting, what you'd expect from these two. And even like called the white noise off the battles very early on. Like you could see it coming, all that stuff. But it was good, and some of the even some of the near falls were good, Ben. But it was the selling for me. Like Sheamus, he's half selling, it's half real. Sheamus 100%. But Rusev was real. Even after when he won, when he was looking round and didn't know where he was, and the ref was great stuff. Like it really was really good stuff. I really enjoyed this one. Even like the stuff at the end, the bro kick was stiff. He kicked that off, and then I thought it was over when he took that end, like that final shot with the shillelagh, the emotional shot, and he kicked out of that. Was good as well. And then obviously
that was the stuff I didn't like though. That was
Did you not like? No, I like that. And I love that. I love that. Ben.
We don't need your fucking Cena back. Just have a fight. Come on, lads.
But then obviously with the choke out in the mouth, and he tapped out Sheamus, so it was
that
good.
Felt more brutal than something you'd see in the WWE environment.
Yeah, this was really
contrasts on it through this match, honestly, back and forth.
Yeah, but actually, even the actual literal bar stuff, I worried for his head though when he took it was a bit too small the thing for it. So watch his head on like the actual bit that didn't break, which I was more.
Sheamus is one of them wrestlers. He'll give you a concussion, but if you give him one, he'll be like, "That's fine, no worries."
Yeah, he would never moan, would he?
Let's go for a pint. Like
he's
those types of wrestlers.
He's a top Liverpool fan as well, so he's got that pass as well. Yeah, but this was perfect. Matchmaking perfect. Partners in there going at it. And it will, easy win for Rusev to go there to the next level now as well. So hopefully we'll see if he does now.
What's the next level? What is the next
level? Got to do something after the Sheamus feud. That was the easy one to come in with.
Will he?
I think, he's got it, won't he? If you got it, then
we'll be sat here next pay-per-view and going, "I didn't." Oh well. Anyway, moving on.
We'll see what happens with him, but he's out. I think he's put the Sheamus stuff. Obviously, we'll be behind them at this point, and we will see, Ben. We will see.
It's clearly been promised, hasn't it, to Rusev? Like when he's come in, you're gonna get at least something of a mini serious run, and this is part of it. And I'll be surprised if there's a serious follow up, but we will see. But Cena Logan was here on the show. Don't know what's
it was next. Are you gagging to talk about this one or something?
That must be what it is. I'm like that kid in the front row on SmackDown, mate. I'm gonna talk about like the broader part of it. Like obviously Cena's done a few interviews this week, including like post this show, talking about the tributes that he did in the match. Doing the Stars Clash stuff like that. That he might not get to face AJ, so he does his little tributes, but also doing some interviews where very interesting words, and that when things aren't working, sometimes you have to pivot, you have to listen, and that's why he turned face. And obviously the run of it this week with SmackDown in Paris on Friday as well, making up with the kid from Belgium, wasn't it? He was wearing the exact same clothes, and in the front row as part of it. It's bad stuff. It's bad stuff in it, though. It's so bad. Like it's like there's no fixing it. Is there? There's just no fixing it. It's just eye rolling all the way through. Like it's just unbelievable.
It's Men in Black stuff. It is, of course, it is. But you can't. It's
what they should have done all along. That's the positive thing I want to say about this match. Very clearly, these European crowds eating it up when Cena comes out is like, that's where the money was. Very clearly, retirement tour. Everyone have a good time. Everyone cheer him for the first time in his career.
It was political, of course. If you were going to do the heel run, I'm not saying nobody knows here. You do it better than it ended up being, of course. But that's where The Rock and Travis Scott, whatever. It's all political at the end of the day.
Better. It hates his legacy for me. Like I think about Cena differently now that we've seen it. It's like, oh no, maybe he does just have bad instincts. I'm
still glad that they done it in a way though to see it. Then I'll always say that it's just the execution overall. After it was bad, of course it was, but I'm still glad that he tried it before he retired. I'm glad of that. I am. I can't say I'm not. It was just obviously the follow-up was terrible, and the way they've gone back. But I think ever since he has gone back, much to the old point there of what, in a way, if he wouldn't have done it, it should have been this. He's been brilliant. Like he's been fucking brilliant, Cena. Honestly, since that SmackDown before SummerSlam, he's been, and this is me saying it, who does not like him and never liked him at all. That SummerSlam match, he's given us all. He knows himself it was that bad. Obviously, he does, so he's given everything he can. Now, it literally is. He wasn't given which he didn't have to.
Shame there's not a Netflix documentary out there that could have uncovered everyone's real thoughts about this time, but oh well.
Yeah, but the Cody match was fucking, he gave everything. Wasn't expecting this to be Like, what are you? I'm not saying it was an epic, but it was a Cena epic, wasn't it? I didn't expect this type of layout for this match. I thought it'd be 10 minutes, typical Logan Paul scene, get everything in, you know, work around. But Cena giving us all again in this. He's going out, giving these epics, like, and which he should be. And I fucking love this. Like, I thought this was way better than I thought it'd be. Like, and then some. Like, it was fucking, love the callback. Like, hilarious though. Like, the other camaraderie, even the code red, which we've seen. The end of days. Like, why is Corbin getting it? Like, he buried Corbin, didn't he, in 2017? Why is Corbin
Angels Wings was in there, wasn't it?
Angel Wings from his UWF days, was it? Fucking the Zigzag by Logan Paul. Shout out to the Nick Nemeth. And then we had, obviously, the Styles Clash, because that's what I was told to Clue. I was saying, who actually is going to be seen as final match? And I thought it would be AJ. And then when he done the Styles Clash, I was like, oh, okay. And then he's obviously dismissed it, hasn't he, in the interview after it. But who is Ben? Like, genuinely, and I know, like, maybe your investment's not down, but genuinely, sorry, is down in it. But who the fuck is going to be his last match at this point?
Should have been Punk,
done them all. Yeah, he's done them all, hasn't he? Like, but it can't be a 10-minute. If you're doing all the epics now, is it just going to be a squash and we get the big celebration and then everyone coming out? How's it going to look? It's going to, I don't know. At this, he's done them all. Like, he's done Rowan, he's done Cody twice. Brock's going to be next month. He's done Logan Paul. He's not doing AJ. He's done Punk. He's done Orton.
He hasn't done Roman this one, though, has he? You could do Roman.
Yes, his last
if you
match.
had the dates, which they don't. And again, the story they told with Roman, there's just no way, is that if this is happening in December,
fuck, though,
you're not getting there, are you?
And he's got to win as well, hasn't he? But he's, you know...
Could somebody come back? Austin.
But
Goldberg for second retirement.
It doesn't make sense, does it? And to be fair, if he's got...
Could have been Kevin Owens. That could have been the plan, maybe.
That could have been, yeah, he would have done... I'm shocked if it doesn't go to AJ and he's trying to work us, because that's the only logical one with the history they've had, the matches they've had. And he hasn't done it this run.
Run the Truth Killings. Speaking of
no one else, it can't be. It can't. But we will see. Obviously,
I like to hope that it'll be something good. It won't. It'll be something really underwhelming. It won't. You can say it's got to be, but it won't. They don't.
But at the end of the day, I don't like it, love him, but he is a fucking one of the biggest icons. He's got to go out with something good, hasn't he? You know what I mean? But he's got to go out better than Kurt Angle did with Baron Corbin, and I love Baz. But
Kurt Angle,
it can't go. Yeah, if that was his first match, wasn't it? That's a shout. Yeah. Didn't even think of that, Benno. Whether it obviously wouldn't be great, it's a great storytelling moment and such. But yeah, I just want to see who it's going to be. So, but the match I thought, I honestly thought this exceeded. What did you think? Was it not what you? Did you love this?
I'm with Platt on it. Like, I don't want to like as much as you'll get painted as that he's going to be positive no matter what. I don't want to be. I'm going to be negative no matter what. I like to think I'm fair when it comes to WWE when they were good. Hopefully, I was pointing it out at the time. I thought it was at least better than it had been in a while. I didn't really think much of it. Really, I just thought. I think I'm just this is. I'm a curmudgeon. I know it. If anyone's on the YouTube comments, you don't have to say it. Like, I know how this sounds, but I'm just fucking sick of these crowds. Like, I don't enjoy them at all. Like, maybe, you know what it is? I reckon it's maybe the fact that I wasn't all in, and I was like, sorry, a Forbidden Door, and I was like, oh, everyone's having fun, and I'm not there, so I'm not happy, because I was half moaning about that crowd as well. But, like, I just don't think any of these people here to see the matches, or are they here to like do the fucking Sacra Blue and fucking? They would be doing all of this despite anything that was happening in the ring. I'm not arguing it didn't elevate what happened in the ring. I didn't even think what happened in the ring was that good. It was just a moves fest. It was a spot fest, as I think you're kind of saying in a positive way. Like, it was just a lot of stuff, and Logan Paul kept up with it, and it was over, and I had no doubt who was going to win. But it was an exhibition for me. I just wasn't clearly as into it as most people are, but I'm not into these crowds. I just don't. I feel like I've seen it now. Like, all right, you got your funny chants. Oh yeah, you do the exact same thing every single time. You do Roman Reigns in the same key everywhere. Like, I'd rather see an invested crowd who actually wants to see winners and losers. And I feel, it felt a bit like, I mean, they got there with like the near falls and stuff and made it sound like that. But it feels like one of those, like, even in AEW, you see it sometimes where the crowd will sit in their hands for 20 minutes and then for the near falls, like, start doing "This is awesome" and stuff like that and acting like they've been into it this whole time when fucking liars. No, you weren't. Stop it. Like, I just don't think, I think the two things are related. I don't think the crowd reaction had anything to do with the work here, and I don't think the work had anything to do with the crowd. It was one of those where, like, if you're one of them people who just sees wrestling as they go out there to get the best possible crowd reaction, which is how I was trained, how most wrestlers are trained, like, they did, you could argue if you think the two things are connected, they did a good job. You could argue job was done here. But I think if you're watching at home, like, I just don't personally find this stuff entertaining anymore. I find it unproductive, as Ramin says here, yeah, for what they're trying to achieve on the show. And just, I can't think of a better way to put it than boring, to just to kind of see it repeated over and over again. And everyone has to marvel at it and go, oh, aren't they amazing, these crowds? And Triple H has to do a tweet and they have to get the fucking crowd-o-meter out and stuff like that. It's just, I think people are saying things because they have to say them, not because they actually feel them. I just find it all a bit cringe now. But I don't know. I've eaten myself up with criticism, Matty.
I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it, Ben? I agree with the nuggets of what you're saying there about, like, you know, me.
It is the point at the end of the day. It's not lost on me.
Yeah.
I understand, you know.
And I know I'm not just pointing out what you, but I've always said that I'm that fan still at this point. But you know, everything, especially I still, you know, like wrestlers and I want them to win. I'm that person still. You know, I've still got that in me. As much as I know everything and we know the backstage, I'm still invested. That's why, as everyone knows, I like me guys. I want them to win in that setting. I still want them to win, Ben, even though it means nothing at the end of the day. I still want them to win. So I'm all for that, of course. I'm totally all for that. So I get what you're saying there, that I don't think these fans are there for that necessarily. But then on the flip side, when you're paying all this money, you can do what you know, it's hard.
No,
it's
of
hard.
course. I'm not telling anyone
do what you want. Yeah, do what you want because
it's performative, isn't it?
In a way, but
not,
then that's kind of, and I'm not agreeing it's good, but that's kind of what they want at the minute, don't they? They just want loud noise, which is part of the game, like you're saying. So, you know, the work's not, but I'd much rather this than nothing at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I'll take
to be the choices, though, do they?
For the negatives that this can bring, because they can go one chant too far. But I'd rather a crowd that looks great and is up for it all night than nothing at all, or even a simmering of a crowd. I'd much rather.
I'm sure most promoters would say that too. I'm certain, but like
it.
For me, it's like I'm not like I say. Investment can go a few different ways. Investment can be you want your favorite to win, and that's when wrestling is at its best. You know, when you want your favorite to win, and you, despite everything we say about wrestling and how we approach it, like with the way we analyze it, when you get pulled in, that's the best. But also, I think you can be emotionally invested in a match being good. You can be emotionally invested in and swept up in it and cheering and getting louder because the work is getting better. I just don't think this is even that. I really don't. I think it's just independent. It's the cameras are on. Let's show the world what we're like in Paris, and like you get it in the UK too. Like it's a big UK crowd thing that I've kind of soured on over the years as well. Maybe it says more about me, but like. Yeah, you get like O2, with Cope song, like that's how I felt about that. And again, it's easy for me to say, you know, at home, if I was there, maybe I'd have a great time, but it doesn't. I just don't think the two things completely line up all the time. I don't think it makes for entertaining TV either. And
also, if we're going into crowd law, I think we're that generation now, Ben, aren't we? We're that old, and we're older, and we've been with it for years. Yeah. It's not even an age thing. If someone's coming into wrestling now, that's probably the appeal of going to these shows. Like, and it's everything. The music's of talk like fucking Judas started it all, didn't it? Then it went on to Edge. Then it's gone on to Randy Orton, CM Punk. That's just a new craze and a new trend with wrestling fans.
Being an extra in it rather than being
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. We're, like you're saying, we don't even just see it differently. We've been in the game that long, Ben. We genuinely have at this point, and that's 50-year-olds who are coming into it now who are just getting onto it are gonna figure it out that that's what they're in for, and that's what I mean. And this is where it's hard, isn't it? Like, as much as like I come across, I don't love everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get that they're going for it. Even WWE themselves have
you
said
like it more than most, though.
Yeah, but
WWE you might not love it all, but yeah.
But WWE have said it themselves on air on these video packages. They're telling you we're going more. Like, even when Vince had it, sorry to bring them up, but even when Vince had it, even his moments weren't literal, and this might sound stupid, moments that they're literally saying, you know what I mean? I got what he meant of like, this is a WrestleMania I get that. Triple H wants these moments weekly because it's that viral era. They're explaining it on video packages. That's what they want. The ESPN adverts. That's what they're going for. And that's where I'm even like, fucking hell, lads.
Self-fulfilling prophecy, innit?
You know what I mean? So that's where it's tough because we've been in the game that long. Then even watching matches like nowadays, which we'll go into like Ring of Honor in a bit, we see it in different ways. We've just seen enough of it. It's the best thing in life. But I've got to that point. We know everything and we've seen enough of it. It's hard to be like, and this is different, yeah, but it's not to our taste, is it? It's not, but I don't know. I don't know.
Disagree. It's the children who are wrong. That's what I'm going with.
But then the 40-year-old people doing it, the new fans. It's not just kids. It's not. It's like a fucking. It's a new.
Well, it's like Andy says here. You know, you pay your money for a Fed ticket. You want to experience it, and that's it. It's to look around and go, "Oh, aren't we so great? Look what we did." And like, it's all circular, isn't it? It's all back passy. It's all. I think that's what the issue with it is. Like I've seen a lot of high praise of this match, and I just don't think the match had anything to do with the crowd reaction. I don't think the crowd reaction had anything to do with the match. I felt they were massively divorced from one another, and then both existed at the same time. Like, and that's an interesting phenomenon. Like, because you know, there's elements of that. There's elements of that even in like the greatest matches of all time. Yeah, Hogan. I'll throw Hogan Warrior in there. Greatest Fed matches, you know, your greatest reaction matches, I suppose, is more what I'm saying. Those types of matches. Even Joe Kobashi, you know, 20-year anniversary of that. There's an element of that. We're all there, so you know, we want to play our part and be part of it. But I would say you get swept up in it, and it's all one big thing. Yeah, like I say, maybe it is just that though. It's the exhaustion with them doing this so often, with it not being long since the last one of these, and it not being long since obviously just in the UK now, and they're repeating these Europe tours, and each of these crowds are trying to outdo each other, and it is a bit repetitive. The chants and stuff, as Simon pointed out in the chat as well, you know.
But if you notice though, I don't think I have. People go back and fucking timestamp this. I haven't mentioned the crowd once. I'm not. That's what I mean. I didn't mention that's why this show was good.
But what was good about the work then? They just did some moves, didn't they?
No,
like,
but I thought
but
what I said to you is explained like why I liked it, because I didn't expect Cena to give another like epic type of match that he done, because he done it at SummerSlam. I didn't expect that with Logan Paul at all, and I was like, whoa, we're going long here. We're doing all the big spots, and that's why I liked it. Got swept up in it because Cena was giving it again. You know what I mean? I thought it was, and Logan Paul was the best he's probably been in a while as well. He's gone back since the Jelly Roll feud, which people don't like to hear that name. He was there front and centre, him and Post Malone, the new Godwins. Seen the tweet going around there. But
Godwin's mixed with the headbangers, isn't it?
He went back to the basics, Logan Paul, in that feud where he was that heel, the smarmy heel. He went just, I want me here to have a good match. He's that smarmy heel. You want to see you get his comeuppance. He got the win in that. He's playing this into Cena as well. And this was the best he's looked as well in ages. And this, honestly, I thought, for what it was, because I didn't expect it to be like this at all as well. That's why I was so high on it.
I've been high on Logan Paul in the past, and a lot of it is that he can do the role of wrestler, can't he? He can do all the moves, he can keep up to a level, to a staggeringly high level for his level of experience. And the bloom was off the rose for him for a bit.
And we didn't even have to get the viral table spot for once. I was expecting that we didn't even have to get that in this match as well. So I give that a that was up in the estimation for that as well. He didn't have to rely on it. Okay, the fans might have played something into that, but yeah, it's a good conversation about crowds, but what can I do? That?
No, it's
probably
people have said that about, like Andy says here, you know, watching on mute, you're gonna have to start off. People have said that about like some of my favorite matches though, and I'll always like me and Gareth have had discussions before, like intelligence.
I'm pushing back on that.
Gareth will say, well, let me finish. Gareth will sometimes, well, it's about me, it's not about the crowd who's there. And me, I think because I kind of got that indoctrinated in me at one point in my life. I was like, yeah, but the two things aren't necessarily disconnected. The way, Tim Martin used to say it. He'd be like, oh, that Hoovy Kidman match would be great if the crowd were into it. So, well, the crowd weren't into it. So maybe that tells you something about the work. I'll say that about Finlay and Regal, won't I? And then the reverse, it's like people will say a lot about, like say Rock Hogan. It's the crowd willing it to be good. And maybe there's an element in there, but I think there's an element of skill there in getting that crowd reaction from like the two wrestlers. Same with like Hogan Warrior WrestleMania 6, which is a great example of that, where like the Pat Patterson agent within an inch of it life helped produce that atmosphere. Like there's give and take, isn't there? It's like that's part of the rhythm. That's part of what it's a dance, isn't it? Between the two sides. And I've never felt more disconnected from a match. Feel more disconnected from each other than this one.
But that I don't get that watching on mute. I've seen that going on Twitter. I don't get that when you're watching on the telly. You can't. That's just a live thing, isn't it? When you're there in the building, that's an atmosphere in itself.
And the crowd just might have annoyed me. That might be what it is. This particular crowd, we're quite annoying, and the chants are annoying. Like they are the one. Like, and the commentators going on and on about it is annoying. Like it's like, oh, come on, you've seen it. Stop it. Give us a new one. Think of a new chant.
I agree with that, Nuggets. We have seen it, and once again, this is probably because it's
maybe France, it can be simplified to that. Maybe that's all it is.
It was Leon last time. This is Paris, obviously still France, but that's what it is. I think it hasn't been. I think the other crowds haven't been as samey, even though they are in a way. This was very obviously got the same country, but you know what I mean. And I know what you're saying. And the
Americans have got to stop with the Roman Reigns thing. Like that is just, come on. Think of another tune. Listen to the Ogdens. They'll help you out.
But we are as bad, Benno. Honestly,
yeah. I know, and that's probably what set me off. It's probably that. It's probably watching from home. I
can't explain.
There's a lot of people there invested, and there's half the people there with the belts on the shoulder who are clearly just there to ignore what's going on and
you yourself, Ben, like obviously I've only been to one one show in America, and I can't explain the difference of I can't explain it, like, because over here, as you say, we're as bad. We can hijack shows, we can make it all about us. It's like
we might be the worst,
and in a weird way,
the best.
Like that WrestleMania, especially for that and sections of the fans, where our section where like Dom won, we got into it and all that. Like that was like just whoa, let's go, let's take him on board. He's our guy. But like that Cena coat, honestly, I can't stress enough. That was like a proper sporting like event. Benno, people had come to see, you know what I mean? It was that kind of thing. Whereas we don't approach it like that. You know what I mean? Even though it's obviously all showing that. We do go in like that, but it was just that weird, like we need to see him win that title kind of. It was that type of vibe when I went to Mania. It's crowds laugh, but we need them, the heart and soul and everything. So
I guess we learned that in 2020,
yeah.
So there we go. Careful what you wish for. There you go.
Yeah, Ben, do you want to watch Thunderdome from QT's gym, or would you rather these fans? That's what I mean.
I don't think it'd be any different. Honestly, they could have had this in an empty arena. Honestly. But again, I might be showing me age. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the problem. 3 seems harsh. What? 3.25, 3.5 at a massive push. I wouldn't go higher than that though. Watch over me, mate. Sorry, I'm broken.
I maybe have to go 4 on it, Ben, just because I was swept up and was laughing my head off at Cena having a great time, and this is me once again, who never could stand the bloke in his prime. Just maybe he's winning me over as he's retiring because I know I won't get to see him anymore. So maybe that's why I'm here as he's winding down.
There's no JD Drake versus FTR, but we'll get there. After that, speaking of things I was invested in,
the main event. You know what?
Seth and Punk. Yeah, I don't know why my notes are so confused. Seth over Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Should we start with the big angle? Again, this is a match. Have you got many notes on the match? Like it's a match, isn't it? Like things happened.
It was
this new WWE of doing like these multi-persons so often. Like they don't. This is exactly what people criticize AEW being. It's like there's no stories to be had here. It's just lads going out and doing moves, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is. There was like, to be fair, once again, this isn't the highest praise, but it's basic stuff which he went back to with the shit. And if we once again. I'm begging, but that's why I like the multi-mans at WrestleMania and the multi-woman matches at WrestleMania. They were just, let's go out and have matches. You know, it weren't like, so I admire that in a way of like, you're saying, maybe it's kind of like piggybacking off what you said, but at least it was a car crash all out. With this, with you trying to tell, but it's the same main event story 4-way that they've told for 20 years. Like, but once again, at least it was that. I'm torn out because it was so telegraphic. That like he was left on his own.
Inspired, isn't it?
No, yeah, we done this. But this weren't even with a 4-way. We done this when Solo debuted, when Roman was against Drew in Scotland, and he was on his own because the Usos had been took out, and Paul Heyman and Sami Zayn, and someone's going to save him. Like Seth saying, "I've got to." I knew Becky Lynch would help him. Like it was so telegraphic. Like so, in one way, I'm glad that at least they're making an effort to tell us some side of the story and it making sense. But it's so predictable at the same time. Like and.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm not down on the actual match, because I'm a sucker. I like
you can't be, can you? There's only so bad it can be.
Yeah.
There's only so good it can be. That's the other problem with it. It didn't feel like a main event either. Like really, this 4-way is a main event with LA Knight and Jey Uso in it. Like,
this is it. This was, like I said. I think
speaking of crowd investments, to be fair.
Yeah, I didn't know what
take everything bad I ever said about Jey Uso back. Yeah, he's great.
But this was, I think, I don't know whether I've said it on a recording or I can't remember at this point, Ben, whether it was getting recorded or just a convo to someone I had last weekend. It was like, it was like they tried like getting some sort of like, oh yeah, well LA Knight got a win over Seth, so he was in there making sense.
Baby faces aren't getting along.
The baby face, that's what I'm saying. At least I'm conflicted. I am. It's like it's basic. We've seen it a million times. But at least there's that, than it just being hot-shotted like it seemed like it was in between, like, you know, April and like July. At least there's, you know, that's once again the faintest of praise. At least it's that, then it's just hot-shotted together. But fuck me, we need some sort of creative thing going. Like we need a bit more. And whether that's where I'm conflicted again with Becky Lynch. At least she's with Seth now. Just put them together. At least you have to see them together than separate. Then I want to see them together. I don't want to see 2 segments.
Me and you got more chemistry than they do.
No, but Ben, I'd rather see them together in one segment than 2 segments with them separate. I do. No, I do. I really do at this point. Just just put them together and let them go out there and do the fucking shtick together at least.
Yeah, I'll skip this one. I'll listen to when JP's back on.
Yeah. But it is opening up the doors once again to what you're saying earlier about Triple H relying on fucking comebacks. AJ Lee getting touted about.
Before we get to that, like, I absolutely agree with Andy there in the chat, like, Andy Ogden, who's wearing the black hoodie is the who's in the Hummer. Like, again, like, this, you know what it feels like? Again, the bigger conversation. I think WWE really brought this to the forefront. I don't know if you were the same as me. Like, did you, like, WWE is road agents within an inch of its life. But to watch that show, and obviously most of it was aware, like, I think we know that now. But, like, just to see pretty much what it's like with all the different people with, having words and headsets and direction going on and all of that. It's like, the result is things get sanitized, don't they? And things end up being, well, this is the way we do it. Like, nothing says that more than this. Like, oh, we got to do a run-in. I know I will do it. We'll put somebody in a hoodie and put the hood up. Usually it's a new or at least it's Samoan. But it's proper. Like, this is the way. This is the way that was most effective. So we do it every time. It's like the spear through the guardrail that got a pop, and it always gets a pop. So let's always do it. But like, more intelligent storytelling would kind of tell you're repeating it over and over again. People watching on telly at home know it's coming and have seen it a million times, and it's obviously less effective. Like, yeah, just like no creativity whatsoever. It was a minor surprise. In fact, it was a surprise that it was Becky. Like, I'll give them that. Like, that it was her and wasn't, some other random event. Usually an USO or something like that. But yeah, it's so uninspired is the word I would say. Before we're even getting into the duo.
Yeah, it's ticking boxes, but like Chris said there in the chat, it can't, as much as Becky's doing me head in, it cannot be any worse than when they were put together as faces in 2019. It can't be.
But if it was bad in 2019, why do it again? I know
at least the heels and at least the heels this time, where you might get like these were going in as baby faces, and this was coming off. This was when Becky was at her highest and Seth's piggybacking off her. Do you know what I mean? At that point where you're using Seth, like Becky, to get Seth more over as champion, at least they're kind of at the same like level now, and you can put them together. But it can't be. At least they aren't better as heels, than baby faces. But it's got that going for it. But other than that, once again, Ben, it's someone coming back like AJ Lee, who hasn't wrestled in I don't know how long. Like the mixed tag. I mean,
if it happens, it could just be nothing. Like, it feels
like
it's
more smoke to the fire than ever. Yeah, it's got to. Like, I don't want to see the mixed tag. I'd rather see the singles, like AJ and Becky, and it's nice for Punk, obviously, with his wife. But we're at that point. We're at Edge Beth.
No, it's nice in it.
It's Edge Beth Phoenix stuff, though. It's just it's nice, but I want to see a bit more.
Human side of me. There is a side in there somewhere who hates live crowds and just hates wrestlers. But like, I do see that, and like 5 years ago, maybe even I would have been like, oh, isn't that? Or if she'd have gone to AEW, it'd be like, oh, she's gonna like get it. Because I think it's always sat wrong with me that like she was successful, at a time when obviously the standard was lower in the women's division. We talked about with Nikki Bella, it's absolutely the truth. But like, she stepped away because of the Punk stuff. Like, it never sat right with me. It's like, because your husband had a kick off with the company, you had to put your career aside. Like, it's horrible. She stuck around for a while, didn't she, afterwards? But clearly it was never going to work, and she said as much. Like, awful. And she should, I think, as a human side of it, get to go out on her own terms. I just think those terms probably were more appropriate 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Like Nikki Bella, I can't see her being to the standard now of where the standard is just across the board on the roster. Never mind with the women's roster, which is higher than it's ever been.
But that's the thing. If it's a one and done, then it's
Rumble
fine.
Or something, do you think? Think it'll be they'll treat it with that? Saturday night's main event? I don't know.
No,
is there anything coming up in Chicago?
Oh, I don't think so, Ben. But if it's a one and done,
there is for AEW, but there always is.
Yeah, it'll be fine. If it's a prolonged feud and she's back on the roster, then I agree with you. We're way past the point. But if it's a one and done, you could dance it up that it would be a good match and you could get away with the fans, of course. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't know, Ben. I'm conflicted on it.
Equally, it might just not happen.
Maybe.
Put two and two together, make it five. And instead we get Punk versus Rollins 6 more times before 2028.
They have only wrestled twice, Ben, to be fair. Like, they have only wrestled twice.
It doesn't matter. It feels like more. Therefore, like, that's what matters, isn't it?
Singles, I might add. But
I'm still sick of it.
Yeah.
I think most people
don't
are
know.
I think sick of this endless circle with these two, and they add this element. It adds another 6 months to it. Maybe it's maybe that was the argument with Phil. You know, come on, we'll balance it. You got to work Seth again at WrestleMania, but we're gonna have a role for AJ. That's why he's gone for it.
No,
maybe Larry can be in the corner. Seth and Becky got a dog.
No, I don't
Bring
think
the baby
they
out.
have, yeah, I don't think they
There
have.
you go. Same thing.
But it's I don't know, because I'm obviously looking to go to Mania. I'm working myself up, and I'm thinking Roman and Seth night one, and then I think it has to be. I know early doors, but usually I go around the Book of Mania this time. Me and JP usually do. It's got to be Punk and Cody. It's got to be, hasn't it? Though, like I was thinking this. They're the only two main events.
There's been a lot of got-to-be's this year that haven't happened.
Yeah, but it's
become
got
Tony
to
Khan,
be the case.
A lot of matches left on the table.
Yeah, it's got to be at this point, because Punk got to win the belt off Seth. That's how you get Roman and Seth. And then he's got to get into the Cody. Somehow one of them's got to turn heel. Like, it has to happen. But we might get the with Punk versus, I don't know, and then Cody versus Drew
Punk
McIntyre,
versus Seth, Roman, Cody.
Yeah, I mean...
Roman versus Solo Sikoa.
I mean, hopefully, Ben, but we're past that now. But
superstar Jacob Fatu's figure. I know you're there. Is it behind you? Have you got it with you? Is it there?
Well, I can confirm he's not a peg warmer, unlike some certain AEW wrestlers. But he was one.
Where was this?
This was Smith's Toy Store. 20 English pounds, my friend. Come on, none of this
for Jacob Fatu.
For Jacob Fatu. This is what we're talking here. This is, hopefully he should be, obviously, by Mania comes down in the main event team proper. But
so there was one Jacob Fatu left, so not a peg warmer, obviously. I did notice in your photo though, next to him, there was a lot of Solo Sikoas piled up.
See, but when it's mass production, Ben, you need to shit. You know what I mean? You need to keep producing when the fans want it. I did pick up a Solo as well. Just to confirm, I did pick up a Solo.
As a side, who's the definitive peg warmer? Who's the one you always see? Because I always feel like I see it in Home Bargains in Liverpool when I was there. It'd be like Wesley or something like that, or like one of the lads from there.
And I'd say he's a bad one because he's quite, whether you level. Finn Balor's always there, like. He's always knocking about. He's always knocking about as a peg warmer. But
put another head on it and just sell some JD McDonald ones instead. So I think they'd be even worse.
They would, yeah. They definitely would. But yeah, as I say, I did overall on the show, like, I did find it better to watch than the last good few, to be fair, Benno. I did have a good time watching it. Don't know what it. I just in a better mood for it, and I know I felt a bit deflated after SummerSlam, but I don't know. It's weird because I agree with what you're saying. There's nothing like I'm obviously into Roman, not to no matter what. I won't go that extent, but I can see what they're doing with him. At least as what we've covered before. At least I can see a plan for him. The Seth stuff.
It's going to be months in it before we get anything else on it.
The Seth stuff as your champion and Punk. I've still got, it's not like the worst. I can see why people say it's never ending, but we just need a bit more creativity with the stories and the angles. Even like, I don't care if someone feuds for 9 months. Look at Drew and fucking Punk. They were creative at least. And I know that it got to the bead situation, but even like that great angle in Chicago with the fucking garage door, like, give me something like that hasn't been seen for a while. Like, just not this basic shit we're seeing all the time. That was my thing coming out of SummerSlam. It's too basic as well. You know what I mean? And once again, basic is wrestling and can be good, but just with a bit of creativity in there, just something different, a bit of different backdrop, different angles, just something different. I'm begging than a fucking, someone. At least he didn't steal the pin in that 4-way, because I thought that's how they're gonna get out of it as well. You know what I mean? So at least he wasn't that, but just a bit more. But it's not dead yet for me. And we'll move on to the next one, WrestlePalooza, which I can't wait for obvious reasons as well.
How's that real? How is that really what it's called? Like, it's called WrestlePalooza. You're really doing it.
I did see I don't follow them anymore, but I did see on my shorts pop up Alvarez and Meltzer, and Meltzer was fearful that Alvarez, to be fair, saying it won't affect AEW's numbers, but Meltzer was like, it definitely will, and he was very down, like he's thinking, it's gonna.
It's hard to
we'll
trust
talk about
near
the time. We'll talk more near the time.
Doesn't he spin that line that like only 20% of people who buy AEW pay-per-views are the ones who buy everyone, and then the rest of them decide on it? I think you get mixed up either between people buying on different accounts or with different family members, or something's wrong in your numbers there, Dave. You'll often do it with UFC who own it. Like, so many percentage of people bought this UFC pay-per-view versus.
He thinks it'll take a big hit though, Ben. He says under 100,000 for sure. Like, we'll go into.
I've been told both directions on it.
Yeah,
I think you should. I think and they're clearly not now, because we've got some AEW news we're going to get into where they're doing something on TBS, I think it is, on the day, like a lead into the show. Like it feels like it's going to be like the pre-show is going to be on television, and it's like 7 o'clock on the Saturday night. So clearly they're not moving back earlier. I would, if I was them, 100% I would. I think
that's what he said.
To jump on WWE. The pay-per-views go so long anyway. Like, this was long for WWE. This was a 4-hour show, and it felt like it, but it's not often they do that. Like, so you could, if you're Tony Khan, you could start 3 hours before the WWE, and both main events could be going to the ring at the same time. And I think once you've got to jump on them and you've started early, like, I think you get to jump on people too. So if there are some people out there who might go, fuck it, I'll watch the free one rather than put my hand in your pocket. There will be some of those people. Maybe there's not as many of those people as Meltzer thinks, but there'll be some of them. Yeah, why not get the jump on it? Why not get like it's not just that either, is it? It's like the news cycle. It's being the important big show of the weekend, all of that stuff. Like, if they're going to play dirty, I think you need to play tactical as well. And I am surprised if that doesn't change. It doesn't look like it's gone either.
No, and no, it's not. Meltzer said that he should be going on early as well. But yeah, we'll talk more near the time, and I'm sure us three will be on together before that weekend. Like, that might reignite the old flames.
That weekend.
I know, we really do.
Podcaster's problem. They keep doing it to us. I think Dealer's Choice will be the Saturday that weekend, just so it gives us space to be able to cover everything afterwards. So they're going to have to do something clever like that. But yeah, obviously we've got that to talk about. Other quick news related to Clash and Paris before we get to some AEW and ROH stuff. What else we got? AJ, obviously the AJ Lee stories we've talked about.
Yeah.
John Cena obviously talking about the tributes that he did there. And like I say, might get an AJ match, but it doesn't feel like we are. And Michael Cole as well thanked Peacock for the PLE run. This was the end of their run on Peacock. No real like heavy push of Saturday night's main event, which was odd for them. Did think that was
I did think it was a bit like for them thanking stuff on air. I thought that was actually quite.
They clearly done a dirty deal, haven't they?
Quite sound, yeah. I think the older bit, kind of thing. It was yeah. Although NXT pay-per-views usually said to stay on Peacock, so the fans are getting something. Ben, come on, let's not go too far now.
Well, the other note as well from the weekend, where do you stand on this civil war? I've seen some people with similar avatars to you on Twitter going with Sammy. So it says Sammy Hogan here. Oh no, Sami Zayn catching the WWE US title on SmackDown from your boy Solo, mate.
Yeah.
Was that always the plan? Like, it feels weird. Literally, there have been Bloodline fans who are kicking off, going, "Oh, there he is again, winning again." It's like, I didn't know that was a criticism of Sami Zayn, that he wins too many matches. This beloved babyface who is like the key, literal crown jewel in your favorite story of all time. Yeah, can't beat Solo though. Can't have that.
Well, this is it. I mean, actually, I haven't seen that. I've seen the only pushback I've seen really on it is like, "Oh, this is his big, championship win." But for me, this is the step of him winning the world title. I had this with Crewy. Like, Crewy doesn't think he'll win the world title. I was like, no, he definitely will. Like, he will. Like, I'm fully behind Triple H on this one. I think that's the story they've been trying to tell / telling since like WrestleMania time, haven't they? And I think this is the first step in him, like, getting his confidence back and getting all these wins. So I'm pushing back on that. What I've seen, that this is his mega moment, and but he hasn't won this belt, and as he's tied into his promos as well, he wants to be a Grand Slam champion. So I like the way he's taken that bit serious as well. But now I haven't seen all that, Ben, that like he's took the shine away from so long too much, like Hogan Warrior. I haven't seen that one.
I don't know where he finds the time. He's obviously, he's doing all this. He's piling all these wins up, and he's going to see Oasis in fucking, where was he? I think he went to Canada. I think he might be seeing them with Davey and Braden in Toronto.
He was gutted it got cancelled in Ireland, weren't it? Because he was looking to go and
saw the Newcastle game in person. Him and Pac were there together, weren't they? In the crowd, taking an L on the night. Seen them wrestle at the Liverpool Olympia way back in the
time. Anyway, US champ, first stepping stone today in winning the world title for me anyway. So we'll see where that goes.
I was hoping for something more visceral from you, but fair enough. You're a reasonable man sometimes, mate. I know. Who can dislike Sami Zayn? Like, he's one of the most likable people. Even CM Punk likes him. That shows how likable he is.
Does he though?
Well, he's pretended to. Obviously, we thought the European tour being announced, and obviously, Cody's still out, and it's going to be interesting. It's a flip problem to AEW in that, like, Swerve and Ospreay are going to be out long time for injury. WWE without Cody and without Roman at the same time. We'll see how long that
lasts. He's back for the Palooza show though, isn't he? Him and Drew's
feels like they've chosen to put that match there because obviously he had a baby born, didn't he, over the weekend? So maybe that might have been on this pay-per-view if not for that going on as well. But it won't be too long without them both on TV. But yeah, that takes us into the other massive show of the weekend, mate, to talk about, which is, of course, DDT Peter Pan, or whatever it was that JP had us previewing on Friday. Maybe I'll talk about that with JP this week. Ring of Honor also took place this weekend, Death Before Dishonor, with a show that actually, I think, overachieved. I did end up watching a big chunk of it live. It was on YouTube. I sent you the link today. I don't know if you saw the story behind it, though, that like it shit the bed on whatever the pay-per-view services that they use for Honor Club. So they just threw it on YouTube free, and I was still awake. I was up, thought it was on, and it made me watch it. It made me watch it live. And when I might have just gone back and covered some of the highlights. And I missed the first couple of matches because of that before it went on YouTube. Although I did see a little bit of the pre-show. But yeah, I think it's not like it was a big amount of people watching it. It looked like it was about 8,000 or maybe 13,000 or so that were watching it live at the point I was. The numbers on YouTube have grew since then to in the hundreds of thousands. So still not a massive winner, but still felt like the most people have talked about Ring of Honor in quite a while. Could be onto something this, yeah. Just
I was going to say, put it on YouTube.
Like, I don't think you're going to sell any more or less Honor Club subscriptions than if it's just the telly that's on Honor Club, but the pay-per-views are free. I know it's the reverse of what most wrestling promotions have done over time. It's always felt odd for me. I feel like Triple H subscribes to this, that you have like 1 million people, to be charitable, watching your TV show, and then only 100,000 of those people, to be charitable, actually see the payoff on the pay-per-view. Always like a weird way of like how wrestling does things. I think the reverse is actually better. You don't see the build, but more people actually see the big matches, which is what Ring of Honor should be, the big match promotion. So hopefully they've stumbled onto something they're going to keep up. And like I say, it meant I can send the link over to you, mate. And I asked you to watch the 2 big matches from it, but you might have surprised me with the big matches you chose here.
Yeah, well, you said watch the 2 big matches, so I naturally went in, to be fair, Ben, because I'm still in the cycle. I'm in the bubble, as you know.
Moriarty versus Zula. Yeah, let's go.
No, Gareth's not in the country, so that's why I didn't watch that one. But
that was good. That was good. It was a good match.
The 2 matches that people were talking about were genuinely the 2 that I watched. Like, when I woke up on, was it Saturday morning, I'm scrolling through, and I'll be honest, they weren't even talking about the world title match. The match that everyone was talking about. And I'm glad JP's not here. Was fucking Richard Jewell himself, Paul Walter Hauser, against QT Marshall, Benno. That was taking over my timeline on Saturday morning when I woke up.
I couldn't believe this was real when I saw it on Friday. It was a real match they were building for Ring of Honor. But I think that was like what came out to me before, hating the French crowd. Like there's a Ring of Honor fan that still lives inside of me. That's just the idea of that being a match on a Death Before Dishonor. Never mind the 20 years of shite that's been going on in Death Before Dishonor since the time I actually liked Ring of Honor. This felt like a step too far for me. We were just laughing about it on Friday, obviously with JP's biases against Paul Walter Hauser as well. But it did get some buzz coming out of it. Like I think if you're going to do this match, I think QT Marshall's the man for this type of match. I think I lost myself in that on the weekend show, I will say. Like, I forgot how much I enjoyed QT Marshall versus the Costco boys. And, you want to plug him into those moments, don't you? Like, if he's going to be good at anything, that's what he's good at. He's working with people like this. I think people maybe went a bit far with Paul Walter Hauser, Like, I think he was willing to take more than you'd imagine he'd take. And fuck me, it looked like there was a point. Did you see the power one QT Marshall did? So I'm like, I was convinced he was knocked out watching it live. I was like, he's out there. And the referee and QT are taking like half an hour to set up, the corner table spot because they're just giving him time to get back together. He looked every bit a non-wrestler, but multiple points during this match. But that's the narrative they went with, the crowd going with it, shouting "You're a wrestler" at the end of it, and then being willing, despite JP's criticism, to take all these wacky bumps. I can't say it didn't work in the end.
This is what I mean about him, because I was like, all right, I've watched him a few times, let me watch him now where he's put this fucking speech out, didn't he? And he's been working more, and I am, once again, my new favourite word, I'm conflicted. It's like, he's still shit. He's still fucking shit. Don't get me wrong, he is bad, but he's willing to go out there for reasons unknown to anyone. Like, not even wrestle, but do like death matches. Why? Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and he's crap, and his gear's terrible, like saggy gear, and he looks like shit. You know what I mean? Shit,
he does.
Yeah, he does.
Which again is a selling point as an actor, though.
Which is with him, of course, I get it. And the role he plays,
like if he got ripped,
I'm not ripping him for that. It's just I'm not ripping, not how he looks. I mean, his shorts just be a bit tighter. The one side's too big for him. You know what I mean? But when he busts out the fucking old Mr. Kennedy fucking fall away swanton through a table off the apron, it's like, fair enough to you. You're not just but you're not just taking a bump off do you know what I mean, Ben? I love that.
Yeah.
Like, you're not just taking a choke slam through a table. You're not just taking a token fucking scoop slam through a table. You want to be my favourite word again? Using a bit of creativity. Like that Michinoku driver, but on an open chair. Like shit like that. It's like, fair play to you. You've got the brain. You just can't do it. You know, the kind of thing, you know what I mean? You don't do it great, but you've got the enthusiasm, the creativity. Fair play to him for that, but he is terrible.
But that's the thing, he also deserves none of the credit. Like, it was all QT Marshall, smoke and mirrors. Like, it was, though. Like,
yeah, fair play, yeah.
It's funny, QT Marshall, someone that I had a sit-down conversation with him. I disagree with every opinion he's got on wrestling. I'm certain of it. Like, the QTV stuff that they've weirdly brought back now and all of that. I don't want to see any of it. And that's the side of my hate. But begrudgingly, I respect him as a worker when he goes in and, like, it's like, yeah, he is good at this type of match.
He's a proper worker, Benno.
He's a pro, isn't he?
Yeah,
like,
he is, yeah. He's that pro worker, he is.
He might have, you know, I'm sure he was expecting Cody to get him into WWE, but he might have got over if they brought him in. He might have been perfect. Him and Jelly Roll in an alternate universe, some of it is happening on NXT rather than happening with Paul Walter Hart in ROH. So,
but it's even the finish. I can't
fully endorse it, but I did enjoy his side.
Yeah, it's even the finish, like the QT cut or whatever he calls it, but like off the second rope through a table with glass all over it. He took most of it, but yeah, I mean. It was like, it was better than I thought it, because I was expecting the usual like plunder, even in this set. It's not WWE plunder, of course, like what's the word, telegraphed fucking phony plunder. It was the usual plunder I'm used to seeing on a show like this, but it was a bit more than that, to be fair. So, but Walter Hauser, for as much as I don't like him, you can't like even JP, I haven't heard his opinions for a while on him, but you can't deny like the enthusiasm and the willingness to do it when he really doesn't have to.
You could deny it if you wanted to.
Well, you know what I mean, but he doesn't have to be doing this. Richard Jewell doesn't have to be doing it. He doesn't.
And to speak for JP, doesn't mean he should, but he does.
Yeah.
And here we are, the Progress Proteus champion. I think he's still got that belt. I will say, before we go to the other big match, like I say, Lee Moriarty, Azula, I was bored of pure wrestling rules matches back when Nigel had the belt. You know, but if you're going to do it, he's very good at it.
I see that. Yeah, there's a women's...
Just come up with some new rules then. Come up with like an interesting way of doing it rather than rope breaks and telling the same story over and over again. Oh, how many rope breaks they got left?
70s.
Yeah, but he is good at that, and this was a good example of a match and an idea you have seen a lot of times, and I'd not heard of. I think I'm pronouncing it right, Zuhula, when we talked about it on Weekend Show. He's a type of wrestler you'd like to see in ROH and in this type of division. I did laughed when Sammy Guevara's mystery partner came out. I don't know if you saw any of that when you rewatched it. Rush, which was already random enough, and the commentary was proper putting over. They're like, oh, what's going on here? And I was thinking to myself, nothing's going on here. They just couldn't think of anybody to be Sammy's partner, so they just randomly picked a wrestler out of the 300 that are under contract. Only for Guevara to turn at the end and join the turn on the Von Erichs and join Rush and LFI. It was fucking. I guess we're trying with Sammy as a heel again. Like, I mean, it doesn't. He's turned so many times, but like he's
big show, isn't he?
Yeah, but like if you're gonna do this, then it makes me double down on there. Why did him and Dustin get that moment at All In then? Like clearly there was never a plan then for him to be turning heel this time. Maybe there was. Maybe he was gonna turn on Dustin during the Kyle match or something, or they were gonna do something they got planned. But I don't think there were plans. It's just random as fuck, like Sammy Guevara's career. And yeah, this one's not going to work either. Spoilers, very clearly. Didn't have any chemistry.
Well, to be fair, Ben, I know this on a lower level because it's Ring of Honor, but they seem to be going back. Like your boy Danny Garcia is getting a bit reheated because they need people to like step up, don't they, with the injuries and that. So maybe on a lower level, he's
good on Dynamite. He was good on Collision this week, Danny. Yeah. I'll give him that.
He's getting reheated up, but yeah, it was random. It was random. But what are you going to get? Sammy and Rush versus like the Von Erichs coming out of this, or Sammy and whoever? Like, so yeah, I don't know. It's Ring of Honor TV. I'll never watch it. So it's
there's some spoilers for that in a minute for you. Well, let's talk the big matches here, Bandido versus Hachizero. I made you watch that one today.
I mean,
not even the tried came off, but the stuff they did was great. And
yeah,
I like Bandido in this role because I feel like if he was in people want him to get a proper push in AEW, and I see that logic. But I also feel like he gets lost in the shuffle in AEW. I kind of like him as the star of ROH. I think again, if ROH was a more serious prospect, he'd be perfect for this role because his matches get time and he gets to be like the guy here and be the main event guy. And obviously went on before the women's match, which we should mention too. But it was another strong match for Bandito this year.
Mate, once again, my word conflicted, because if I had to list me top 10 wrestlers in the world, he'd be in it. Like, I love him. Like, and he's one of the best baby faces like around in the world as well. He's so, like you're saying there, this is a great platform to him, because I want him to get, as you say, want to get him a push in AEW, but he won't. So this is perfect for him to have these long, your babyface champion who can just beat these heel of the months all the time. He's so over it. Like, they love him. Like, I fucking think he's great. But I don't want to be too down on it, because I've seen, like, once again, the discourse, like, this was amazing. And it was very good, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a patch on the, like, Takeshita match, like, for me. It wasn't anywhere near as that. But it was, as you say, that main event type match that he should be doing. And it was very, very good. And best Hechisero's ever looked as well for me. Like, he's the best he's ever looked. He mixed the styles more for me in this one. And it was just another good title defense for Bandito, who, like, but that's the thing, Ben, when this happens, obviously doing a U here, Ben, like, what's next? But what does happen is, he's just going to be Ring of Honor champion. Is he ever going to get a push in AEW? Yeah, you're always. You don't watch next guy more than anyone, Ben. But, like, it's what is he going to do? Like, I want to see him have these killer matches forever, and I was saying should always be a clear baby face, and he's amazing at it. But sky's the limit for me. Honestly, for him, you could have him on the AEW and be one of the biggest baby faces, because he's just got that natural charisma and babyface aura. I love him. Absolutely fucking love him.
Platt says he thinks Athena and Amina was good too. I don't think it was a patch on this. I think they were both good, but I didn't. So I stayed up, but didn't make it through the two main events and ended up watching them back. Maybe it was not watching it live, but Bandito Hechicero held up way more for me. But yeah, it was like, exactly, you know, Hechicero's the type of wrestler who's like, it's like, I feel like this way about Zach sometimes, or most of the time. Like, when he works someone who's like him, there's just something about it. It's not for me. But when he works a polar opposite, like Will Ospreay, I'm bang into it.
Definitely.
Not really the same type of wrestler, but and it is in some ways, but like Tim Thatcher, same thing. I'd rather than having a grapple fuck with somebody, I kind of like it when he's fish out of water. He's someone a bit different, or does a match a bit different, like the Gunther match that I loved back in the day. I feel like that about Hechicero here. Like, his matches with Zach were very clearly good, but I didn't enjoy them anywhere near as much as watching him basically base for Bandito. And Bandito was like, you know, coming up with creative counters himself, like the surfboard counters and all stuff like that.
Love that.
And again, some of it didn't work, but there were multiple points where we were both just sat on their asses like, oh shit, who's supposed to be on top here? Like, but that's what happens when you try stuff and you try and be creative. But like, it was great because then, like, you know, you might have an awkward spot like that, and then Hechicero would be on the floor and Bandito had a fucking wild dive, and Hechicero would catch him and was perfectly placed for all of those moments. It was just, that's the other part of Hechicero's game I actually enjoy more than like the scientific stuff. I just like him working with somebody who's, like say, we've got Bandito's strengths, and obviously he's got plenty of experience of doing that. So, match made in heaven for me. Really enjoyed it. I got 4 on it.
Easily 4. Like, and it was, like you say there, like, to add more about Hechicero, he just looked, as you say, more well-rounded in this. Like, he's in there with someone who sympathetic Bandito for fans are into. He just looked a bit more of a heel. He just had a bit more about him for me in this, as well as doing the technical and obviously the big spot on the barricade, the suplex actually on the barricade was great. Just the bump on it and then the bump off it as well. It was like a double whammy bump there, and it was more of a. That's why I liked it as well. The Takeshita match was more of an epic as well. Do you know what I mean? This had your near fall still. But the finish was kind of definitive. It wasn't even a proper X-plex or 21-plex. It was kind of just, which is good though. You don't have to have these, even though it was epic in a way because it was like 35 minutes. You don't need to have the stretch that the Takeshita match had. So I was big on that as well. I thought, you know what, solid that. We'll move on to another one. But just another notch for Bandito this year. Like, he could be high up in the Wrestler of the Year this year. What I've seen of him.
A lot of people feel that way about him at this point. And again, the momentum's there with him. Like, I understand the theory of putting the women on top because the AEW should do more of that. I'm just not sure this was the night to do it. I think the momentum that Bandito's got behind them. Didn't think the women's match was bad by any means. Though I'm sad you didn't see it, because I thought was bad. And apparently he appeared on the TV as well. Blue Meanie coming out here with the Tina. I don't know if you caught that.
Brian Heffron.
He's not a name I thought of. We were tracking our brains for ECW names to come out and be potential. Maybe it was the original plan for Sammy's partner. But yeah, Blue Meanie wasn't somebody I had on there. on my bingo card there as far as people go. But yeah, I don't think I've been that high on Mina Shirakawa in ring. She's clearly charismatic. She's clearly got that quote unquote live show charisma. Is that what the kids say? But she's over for a reason, and a lot of that's a personality, and a lot of that's the way she carries herself. People just like her, don't they? And that's great. I just don't think the matches have necessarily been up to much. But I'll probably say this is one of the better matches she's had in AEW, and Athena did a good job of selling for her and making her feel like she could potentially, slip on that banana peel and lose. But at the end of the day, it was always going to be Athena going over, and it was always going to be the right decision here as well. So it felt more like a challenger of the month than something that genuinely deserved to be like main event level. And maybe that's just the disparate like quality of both of them, Athena and Mina Shirakawa. But it was good. It was 3.5, maybe 3.75 at a push for me. But I've certainly seen people go higher and talk about this double main event as, a great sign of ROH. And it is the top end of the card when you've got Athena there and when you've got, Bandito there, is going to deliver for you, isn't it? And it's too big sell, but it's just everything around it. That's the problem.
It's too guaranteed, like, let alone good matches, but like, as you say, familiar names on the Ring of Honor brand, isn't it, that you can base it around? So that's good from that point of view. But as you say, it's just the other moving pieces going around it. Like, is Walter Hauser staying around? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know with it. Like,
it's just literally, isn't it? Like, you see those Tony Khan conference calls like the week before. It's like he's remembered that morning. Oh yeah, I book ROH. Anyway, let's do this, and this, and this.
Apparently,
like,
he doesn't go, Ben. I read. Apparently, at the minute, he's not even like fucking. So God
you
knows
get the hodgepodge then though as well, don't you? Of like some of the shit that's happening on the TV, and then just randomly, it's like, well, I want to see this, so this is what happens on the pay-per-view, and it's like that doesn't work either. It's just it's a promotion that massively needs that identity, and it could have one right there when you look at like the top line of both the men's and women's division. It's right there for everybody to see. But yeah, like I say, the women's was maybe just suffered a bit from following the Bandito match as well.
But I like as well, it's the story of as well, like he's working through like the Callis family as well, so Callis adds that much as well on commentary, doesn't he? And I don't mind that as like a thread kind of.
Someone's going to do the stats on like what percentage of matches now has Don Callis either on commentary or ringside, like whatever the number is, it's too high. And I like Don Callis like as a performer.
The Heenan family like is just getting out of control. This is
that's a funny joke.
Yeah,
practically you can't do it on your show every week. You just can't. It's like diminishing returns.
Yeah, but but I say I did obviously more for Bandito. Like, I want to see more big matches with him. Anytime I can get to see him, one of my favourites.
Well, like I say, Blue Meanie did turn up on the TV as well. Last thing people saw, apparently. Don't know if we'll actually mix the spoilers or not. I'll let JP go through that on weekend show. And I think they were going to do like a Taz Hall of Fame ceremony this weekend as well, weren't they? But it got it's happening on Dynamite now. Wonder whether that means Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer have gotten an invite now. We'll see with what happens. I won't ask you if you've seen Collision this week. I will just tell you that there's 2 holograms now, mate. We've cloned them, and we're going to have an evil hologram
But I'm actually intrigued. Like, how have they done? Is he actually just someone come out as a like? They didn't have an angle.
Screen. It was like
right,
it was like hollow hologram or like hollow clone or something like that. It said on the screen. But yeah, FTR, JD Drake, and Adam Priest. I think even you'd like that. Like I love JD Drake, and actually thinking even Adam Priest, like they just fit together. Something about them as a team works, and I like the Workhorsemen too. But like, go with this, and you could tell FTR were well up for it as well for getting them over. Big Bill going over Juice Robinson, I was happy to see as well. I think Big Bill's been massively underutilized in AEW this last while. It was Jay Lethal hologram beat. Didn't need to see Jay Lethal, but it was an ROH pay-per-view weekend, so we worked the pre-show of that too as well. So you got that, and yet the follow-up with Daniel Garcia was really good too. Like the stuff with him and Mox, I'm intrigued in. I'm into that story. Looking forward to talking it more with JP. But yeah, even Blake Christian was solid too on that show.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at the chat there because I had visions of it being Christopher Daniels as the new hologram. Ben, I just thought it's someone under a mask. It's probably Christopher Daniels at this point. But
he's doing something, isn't he, with like the young lads? What's it called?
Is he? Okay. Okay. Yeah, but is it a
and Kazarian? Young whippersnapper.
Jesus Christ.
Not Kazarian, sorry, Scorpio Sky. Getting my boring wrestlers mixed up. Television wrestling, Scorpio Sky. Hollywood producers' favourite, Scorpio Sky. Listen to the show from the weekend.
But I mean, as you say, I haven't seen it, but anytime Big Bill gets a bit of a reheating's always good in my book. I did see Garcia's promo after his match where he was all fired up. We'll see where that goes. Good. Yeah, good bit of fire. But he's done this a few times.
Ricochet had a really good promo on Collision as well. Sorry,
Garcia's done this many a time though. Like you're saying there, like he's had these moments backstage where you think, right, you know, this is it for him now. And once again, maybe he might get a chance because they've got these injuries, and hopefully it's not just a filler like feud for him. But he's made the story out of it of 5 years. He's been trying to get him. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. But he has got that fire. He showed that many a times for me. Like
definitely. Well, there we go. That was, like I say, a couple of notes from Collision. Outside of that, like I say, yeah, we got the 3 hour apparently in the build to All Out. TBS in a 3-hour block, so we're gonna get Dynamite, and then we're gonna get Collision, but only an hour version on the Wednesday before, and then like I said, we're getting a TBS
Battle of the Belts
on the Saturday.
No, for Battle of the Belts.
Calling it that because we've also got coming up. We've got a Title Tuesday coming up as well.
That's why. Then that's why
soon too as well. Yeah, another one of them Tuesdays, mate. Where you can get the NXT flag out, and we can have maybe have a Wednesday spotlight that week.
I'm there.
Shout, maybe.
I
booked in, sorted.
See, I do need to catch up though, because obviously I was aware. I do need to catch up. Mention next day. I need to see Oba Femi versus Javon Evans and Mariah May versus Jordan Grace. I do need to see them 2 matches. They're on my list to catch up with. Because sorry, just to go off on, I see Javon Evans' bump he took on TV. I know Claudio and Darby done a similar, but Javon Evans has one on fucking NXT the other week. What the fuck's he playing at? I know he's young, but fuck me, like. He's not going to last long if he carries on doing stuff like that. And apparently there's another similar one in the actual match as well. So, fuck me. Like, but I'm looking forward to seeing that match, I will say.
There we go. But yeah, outside of that, there isn't much news going on. Like I say, all quiet outside of that. Did you have anything else you wanted to mention before we get out of here, mate? Anything else you wanted to talk about? I assume you didn't see any of the PRO from the weekend, or did we had wrestling from around the world? JP had us down for.
No, not on the way from the weekend, Ben. But no, to say, just been took over by the Paris show and just coming back really from last weekend. Really, just settling back into normal life, mate. So we're all roads lead to September 20th, though, Ben. I think we can have, as I said before, the flame could be reignited for one night if only, mate. On that night, looking forward to that. As you say, I will figure out the schedule. But we'll be looking forward to that. It's a big week. It is a genuinely big week. So we'll be looking forward to that one.
There we go. Well, yeah, we'll look forward to the Saturday Night War as well as the Tuesday Night War coming up. But yeah, outside of that, like I say, it is a new month. I need to do a new graphic. Actually, I just realised it's dealer's choice. I can't throw the August graphic up at this point, Matty. But people should definitely check it out. Like I say, podcast was better than the shows. Always good to see Simon, young looking man that he is this weekend. Yeah. So that's
great
out there.
Skin of it.
I haven't had a chance to talk to you. Fucking love grapple lads with you and Gareth. Made me feel like I was right there in the room. I'm glad I wasn't in the room, but it felt like I was in there. So yeah, you did the cracking job with that. Genuinely, it was a lot of fun. It was a good, like I say, accompaniment. Worked out perfectly. With obviously us having Joe on Spotlight as well. So yeah, got the both sides of the coin there.
Got the old grapple family in there, Benno. Did we that weekend? But it was say hopefully it come across well on the audio. We were literally lying down in the bed recording that. So hopefully it was as authentic as it
almost smell it.
As it was, yeah. Maybe you didn't want to. No, maybe you didn't want to smell that. But no, but it was great. Yeah, it's been a great month. I say Simon's show, topping it all off. Have a bit of fun listening to us review the show.
AJ Styles, watching it.
AJ Styles. We done the deep mixtape cut. We done that of AJ. But looking forward to Dealers Month. As I say, Ben. Thought I'd start us easy with just the typical old school pay-per-view from WWE and a lot of little talking points we can go, and hopefully we'll bleed into your choice, or if not, returning Jesus, Gene, Sean coming back with brown pants. Hopefully it can all link in as we like to fill in these days, the blanks, Ben. So hopefully it can start a little quest there as well. So looking forward to it. As always, the Dealer's Choice is good. It's a good month.
Sorry, there in the chat saying he finished off the UWF show before Spotlight. Really enjoyed it enough that he didn't need to watch the show. Yep, that's the
thank you, Chris.
We like to fill as well. Also on there as well, should mention UK Rampage 91 with Liam we did last month as well. Definitely, that's my plan going forward to talk Liam into doing more stuff. Obviously, you'll be back with him for time coming up next month. On top of that as well, and I assume Bretro at some point.
I was going to say Bretro, Gareth, when he lands back from his owls, we're going to be getting the schedule down. We're not missing Bretro anymore, letting it go long. We're going to nail that down. We're going to get that recorded. So that as well this month. And yeah, just looking forward to diving into everything this month as always, Ben. Dealer's Choice, as I keep saying, always a cracking time to get involved. Love it.
Well, there we go. Plenty coming up. There will be a Rapper Live this week. I've asked JP to be my guest, but he still hasn't got back to me. So we'll find out if JP's going to be my guest. Otherwise, he's scrambling to find someone else. Oh, go on.
Maybe not as begrudgingly, not as maybe as begrudgingly anymore, but genuinely, like I think I've told you this, and I'm not just saying it because I wouldn't. Love them lives. Like genuinely on your own, you're doing well. Like honestly, fucking, I love you. Just as you say, chewing scenery, just chatting to everyone. Ben, I do like that. And even when I was a guest on it, just more laid back atmosphere. Genuinely good stuff there, mate. So keep them going, mate.
Thank you. I'll take it. I won't even give you a grief back. Thank you. I enjoyed having you on too, mate. But yeah, been a lot of fun then chatting with people. I think I mentioned that on the last one, but I'm going to keep them up through September. I said it was going to be a summer thing, but I'm counting September as the summer, and then we'll see where we are afterwards. But yeah, there'll be one of them this week as well as everything else that's going on. But yeah, look forward to that. Always look forward to chatting to the people. Yeah, good to see people complimentary of Liam there in the chat as well. But yeah, if you want more where that came from, patreon.com/grapple, where you get everything, youtube.com/@grapple. You can get the pre-show over there as well for the low price of 99p. Where can you get better value in wrestling? Please,
you can't even get a single cheeseburger and Mackey's for that anymore, Ben. For 99p.
Get that over here. It's more expensive than that here. Ridiculous. But there we go. But yes, I've still got snacks left over from the pre-show on Sunday, mate. So I'll be munching on some spicy noodles tonight once we wrap this up. But you can hear the origin of that story over there as well. But yeah, as always, thanks to our patrons and YouTube members for guiding us through another month. Thank you to our live patrons and YouTube members for being with us tonight. And of course, thanks to our kings and queens of the mountain, Carol Laughlin, Eddie Sideburns, Chris Platt, Carl Gack, Sophia Hitchcock, I guess Simon Mulvaney, and Marty Ellis for it, whose show we'll have coming up soon as well. And look forward to Simon's next one too. But yeah, on that note, we will catch you all again on the next one. Good night, all.
Ta-da.
Scouts. See ya. I haven't hit end stream. Just awkwardly sitting here with you. I just let it tip up for 2 hours.
It's all right, that. It's all right.
Sorry.